what's up, everybody? We are live for our top 10 A24 countdown here. How's everyone doing?
I'm
Great.
good.
I've been looking forward to this one for a long time. I've done a fair amount of live streams at this point, but I got to say, I think that this one was probably my most anticipated for a couple of reasons. But I'm just really excited to see what you guys pull because we were talking a little bit backstream, and A24 is just so diverse with what they put out, and I think we're going to get a lot of interesting discussion on some of these movies that are more popular, but also some cool recommendations for people watching that maybe they haven't seen, because again, their catalog is, I think, a lot deeper than most people are aware, for sure. All right, let me see here. I took some notes real quick just about A24 in general, because I think a lot of people might not really know too much about them, just besides, that they're tied into some of these big hits. But they are a production and distribution company based out of Manhattan. They were founded in 2012 as A24 Films. And then 4 years later, in 2016, they dropped the films from their title and became just known as A24. And I have the amount of films put out to date so far. Does anybody care to guess how many A24 films there actually are in existence?
Is it like maybe 160 or something like that?
I thought it was 115, but maybe there's more than that. Maybe like more now.
200.
Did you say, KB?
132.
You guys are pretty close. So according to Google, there's 129 A24 films, which everybody knows the big hits. Your Midsummers, your Moonlights, your Everything Everywhere All at Once. But this will be a good stream for a lot of people because their catalog is just so deep. So that's why I was pretty excited about it.
I felt like this was The Price is Right for 2 seconds.
Higher.
But we do have Spicy 4K here. Hasn't seen a lot of A24. So yeah, this is the perfect stream for you. So hopefully you stick around and we're going to get some good recommendations. We got Tyler here as well. Narrowing it down to 10 is very, very tough. And we're going to do a quick little wrap up of honorable mentions at the end. And we got Luke in here as well. All right, but we're going to get right into the number 10s. And I suppose I'll start it off. Our number 10 pick for me, I went with Midsummer. I really enjoy this film. It's not perfect, but first of all, daylight horror is something to be applauded for just that alone. But I remember rewatching this when I got this edition. This is the 4K exclusive from A24.
Yeah, that's a nice one.
The cinematography and the way Aster frames shots and stuff, I almost was thinking Kubrick, because there's a shot early on where he does this thing with a camera where it spins in a 180 into a 360, and it's like, oh, that's The Shining all over. Like, I love the dance sequence when they're drugged out doing that dance. I think that's such a great scene, and a theme with my list that really kind of helped me narrow this down to 10 is endings. And oftentimes when you're trying to figure out how you feel about a film, for me, I might say, oh, yeah, that was a good movie. And then I think about, how did that movie end? And oftentimes I'm like, what exactly played out at the end? And if I can't remember the end, I always knock it down a little bit. But this is an ending that is quite impactful. So coming in number 10 for me is Midsummer.
I like that pick. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's now, do you guys want me to pull you up big, or you want to keep it like this?
I like this. That's like, what? Yeah. But no, I'll go with everyone. But I'm good with it. What everyone is good with.
All right, Gus, what do you have to kick it off? Number 10.
I'm gonna say buddies. I didn't know what to expect from this one. Everybody was like, "This garbage sucks." And then I was like, I'm just gonna spend by it and make my own decision on it. I enjoyed it. I'm not gonna say that the acting is the best, but I did enjoy trying to find out who the killer is, and then the twist at the end, which I'm not gonna reveal, just like blew my mind. I was like, what? I didn't even see this coming. And yeah, I enjoyed it.
I still haven't seen it. I really want to.
Oh, Tracy, I can't wait. I can't wait to see what you think when you watch
Yeah,
it.
I would say watch it just to get it over with. Just watch it, and then make your own choice, like Gus did.
I'm gonna watch that one too.
Yeah,
For
I
better or
will
worse.
say I did like the ending. That's about it. I will say, yeah.
I agree with me.
All right, Mika, what do you got for number 10?
Okay, so I think this one is very underrated. You know, it's a little bit of a thriller, but I'm going with The Green Room.
Good one.
Yes, I love this one, and I don't hear a lot of people talk about it too much. I think it's starting to get a little bit popular, but I enjoy it. I loved seeing Patrick Stewart in this role. He was so menacing, just like so terrifying in this film. But I love it. It has Anton Yelchin too, such a great actor, so missed. But I just think it's a great thriller. It follows this rock band who goes to this venue to perform. They see things they aren't supposed to see, and then some mayhem ensues. And it's just a terrifying ride from then on. But I really loved it. And like I said, particularly because I loved Patrick Stewart in this role. He really terrified me. So Green Room.
Not a role you normally see him in.
Yeah,
I'll say that much.
Yeah, I loved it.
And wasn't the band?
First heard of. Oh, go ahead, Ben.
I was gonna say, wasn't the band primarily trapped in one room for a large part of that movie?
Yeah, for a large part.
Yeah, the Green Room.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
I didn't hear about it until last October, and I think it was Ryan from The Disconnected who listed it as one of his spooky movies, and I was like, oh, I got to check this out. And when I did, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
And he told me over the weekend, he said that would be one of his top A24 films. So he really likes it.
So much tension.
So much.
Yep. All right, keeping it moving here. KB, what do we have to kick us off? Number 10.
Yeah, for number 10, I'm gonna go with a documentary from 2021 called Val. I do a podcast every once in a while, and my co-host told me about it, and it's basically a documentary about the life and career of Val Kilmer. And somebody I didn't, really know about besides the roles I've seen him in, Real Genius and Top Gun. But when you see his story and if you've seen Maverick, you know his current condition and everything. But when I saw that movie, after seeing the documentary, it made me feel for him even more. And since he's not able to speak as well as he has in the past, the whole thing is narrated by his son. And I tell you, after 5-10 minutes of watching it, you swear it's Val Kilmer speaking because his son Jack sounds just like him.
Wow.
And I mean, it's informative. It takes you through his life, through his career. So it's a journey. And then it breaks your heart all at once. And, documentaries these days, sometimes it's factual, sometimes it feels fabricated. But this one really hit me in the feels. And like I said, after watching that and then going to see Top Gun Maverick, it hit me in the feels all over again. So definitely one of the better A24 films I've seen. Check it out if you haven't. It should be streaming a couple places, but Val.
Yeah, I just checked that actually on my phone to see if I could find it streaming. It says it's on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, I think that's where I watched it. So should be readily available if you have it.
And that probably doesn't even have a Blu-ray, huh?
No physical release.
I saw the trailer for it and it looked amazing. So that's definitely on my list.
Yeah, check it out.
Has anyone else seen Val or just KB?
I've seen Val. I watched it for the Twins A24 challenge as my documentary. So I've seen it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Very cool.
I saw a documentary on Val Kilmer. I don't know if it's the same one.
Yeah, it might be. Yeah, because that's the one. Yeah, it might be Gus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's only
then,
one.
yes, it was good. It's just sad what happened to him, but anyway.
Yeah.
Is what it is. All right, Tracy, number 10.
My number 10 is actually the same as yours, Vin. Midsommar. Yes, I think, and actually my 9 and 10 could be interchanged, both, but I'm going to stick to this. I think that cults are always horrifying in films, and I thought it was like a really just tension-filled exploration of, you know, the entire trip that Florence Pugh decides to go on. I mean, that movie really made her a star, I think. I love everything Ari Aster did with it. And I think that's another thing that's like, it's easy to rewatch because it's not too out there. I mean, it's out there, but it's not like super, super out there. But you can rewatch it and get even more out of it the second time, and all the symbolism. Like, there's a lot of stuff on the walls and all the art pieces, and I don't know. It's such a creepy thing, and I love what you said, Vin. It's like the horror during the daytime, the daylight. I mean, that's really like just gives you the heebie-jeebies. So, yeah.
Yeah, that one I think definitely. If you're out there and you've seen it once and you were just kind of like, bah, like I think it's one of those ones that you can take away. You know, Ari put so much into his films that they're all worth multiple viewings, I feel like. And
you definitely have to rewatch his films. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Our last number 10 pick. Caprice, what you got for number 10?
I am 3 for 3 here. So Midsommar is also my number 10.
Wow.
Look at that.
I agree with everything that Ben and Tracy said. It's something that I like called beautifully spooky. And again, it's that horror during the day. You don't see that a lot. And, you know, some of the imagery that's in that movie is just, I mean, I didn't even have to watch it a second time to kind of get what was going on. But, you know, it's just the saturated colors, the undersaturated colors, just that beginning. I see how people have like a love-hate relationship with it, but I'm not one of those people. I completely love the movie. So, yeah, I'm 3 for 3 with you guys.
Yeah, it definitely has those highlight moments in that film with you know, the ritualistic death and of course the ending with the tent and you know, all that. But that's classic. I mean, so he only has 3 films, but Ari put something in his film. I think all of his films have some type of traumatic head injury in them. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, let's go right on here. We're gonna go to number 9, and I'll start. We'll go the same way again here. So my number 9 was my first Sean Baker film that I had ever seen, and it's Florida Project.
Oh, I love that one.
Yep. I just watched this yesterday for a second time, but I watched it on streaming sometime last year, and I didn't really have a lot of info on the director or anything like that. And it really just was very, very engrossing. He has a very unique style of filmmaking that just pulls you into the setting, the demographic of these people, the characters. He does the same thing in Red Rocket, I feel like. They're very parallel in that way, as far as like the type of, you know, individuals you're dealing with. Red Rocket's just a lot more kind of easy and fun to watch, but they're very, very similar, I think, thematically in a sense. This one's not quite as easy to watch. It's a little bit tougher, but I mentioned endings, and I almost put Red Rocket in this spot, but the ending of Red Rocket's whatever. The ending of this, with the juxtaposition of where she's been the entire film, where you are as a viewer the entire film, and how they run away to Disney World or Disney World, I think they're in Florida, and you know, it ends with that shot of Mickey Mouse Castle. I thought was just very interesting and a very nice final scene to kind of tie it in, where you have these people that are living the way they're living in these motels just outside of the most magical place on earth. And I pulled one other title just to show a little bit of love, another Sean Baker film that came out last year. Has anybody seen Takeout?
I haven't, but I haven't.
No, I heard about it though.
Criterion released this one last year. It's another Sean. He actually co-directed this, but this one is a really interesting one. So if anybody wants, if they're looking for any July titles for the sale, this is a great movie as well. Takeout.
Yeah, I think James did a review on that.
Yeah, that's why I bought it.
Yeah. James did a good review on that.
Yeah.
On Takeout. Nice. All right, let's keep it moving here. Gus, number 9.
I'm gonna go with Moonlight. I really enjoyed the acting on this movie. I feel like all the actors and actresses were spot on. They were meant to play these parts. And also, I enjoyed the thematic theme in this movie, because you don't see a lot of African American films that deal with homosexuality or the hard life that some people can live in, I guess, in the situation that they are born in. And I feel like this movie's pretty good at showing those, and it just gives you those emotions of what the character is feeling. So I really enjoyed watching this one.
Yep. Spoiler for me, I almost had it on the list. I watched
It was right there.
I watched it last night, actually, and when I first put this panel together and like, all right, we're doing it May 9th, and you're kind of just starting to think about what you're going to put on your list, it was like no-brainer, Moonlight's on it. But somehow, I don't know, it didn't make it. Has everyone seen Moonlight?
Yeah.
I have, yeah.
So I watched it last night, like I said, so it's pretty fresh in my mind. I don't know. I just feel like there wasn't quite enough weight to the relationship between
Yeah, that's true. They didn't play too much on that.
between the two guys at the end. Like, okay, they were like buddies in high school. They had this one romantic encounter at the beach, and then I guess it's because he was so what's the word, suppressed in his sexuality, because like you said, as a black man, homosexual, he couldn't really come out, especially being this hardened drug dealer guy, but he wasn't really interested in women. So I really like that whole last scene in the diner, and that really emotional scene at the end of the film where he finally comes out and says, "You're the only man that's ever touched me. You're the only person that's ever touched me." I don't know, but something about it, I just needed something else from that film. And also the casting of the man and the third act. Obviously, the story is, well, he started working out a lot, all this stuff. And I like that actor. He did a good job, but there was a bit of a disconnect for me there because just his bone structure, and he just didn't look anything like the guy in the middle chapter. So I don't know if they could have cast somebody that looked a little bit more like the teenage version, but that's kind of very, very, very nitpicky, I know. But the first time I watched it, I was like, this is supposed to be the same guy? Like, I don't buy that.
You're too
I
picky.
think they went for the acting prowess versus the physical appearance, because he's a good actor.
Oh yeah.
He recently played Tyson in a miniseries. So
Oh yeah.
good,
Yeah.
good stuff.
I agree with Vin. I feel like if they would have added like an extra 5 minutes just to tell us, oh, they got together or they didn't get together, and just give us closure. But I feel like most of these A24 movies end up abruptly and make you think. But instead of like, I want a solid ending, I don't want to think about it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It lacks a denouement.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
you're
they
kind of
leave
left
it up to your interpretation. A lot of the
Yeah.
films.
Yeah.
He puts Will from the end. He's being comforted at the end, but you don't really get anything else. you know?
Yeah,
No.
exactly.
All right, Miko, number 9.
Okay, so I don't have a physical copy of this one, but I'm gonna go with Lady Bird. I just love that film. Laurie Metcalf, I think she's just perfection. I just love her as an actress, and Saoirse, they just were perfection together. But I just love the dynamics of the mother-daughter relationship. It really touches on kind of, those growing pains where you as yourself have a vision for yourself, but that may conflict with what your parents have. Their vision for you, their dream for you. I love how, even though they were very different in much aspects, that mother-daughter relationship was also alike. I love that it's a great coming-in-age story. I think they work well together perfectly on screen, and I just really, really enjoy it. It's one I watch. I rewatch it quite often. I just enjoy it so much. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Lady Bird for my number 9.
Nice.
Good one.
Yeah, I have that one in my collection. I have watched it, and it was one where I was like, oh, I got to rewatch that one for preparation for the stream. But then there was so much I hadn't seen, and so much that I wanted to rewatch that I didn't get around to it. But my logic was, because I can't remember really anything about that movie. Like, I remember that I liked it and that it was good, but as far as like plot points and actual things that happened, like I literally can't remember anything.
Yeah.
Which is not like a good sign for me.
Oh,
I feel like if
it.
I watched it again, it would all, I'd remember it, but
Yeah.
I don't know, it didn't hit me that hard. But I gotta rewatch it for sure.
Yeah, I enjoy
Definitely.
it.
All right, KB, number 9.
All right. For number 9, I'm starting the first of what will be many directorial debuts. So I'm gonna go with 2018's Hereditary. There's so many things to this film. For one, I don't want it in my house because I don't need I don't need that kind of juju. That's what I say. I don't need that kind of juju.
I don't want it in my
I
house.
don't want it.
Nope. Mm-mm. But I did go see it in the theater, and when a movie just hits you
Mhm.
the way that movie did, especially for someone's first feature, my God. And there's so many great things. Toni Collette should have won
Mm.
some kind of
Yeah,
accolade for
perfection.
her
Perfection.
performance. And what I really liked about it is it really is like a story of two tales, because it kind of like switches somewhere in the middle from going from this like psychological
Mhm.
horror to this supernatural religious overtone, bad juju kind of thing. So everything, the little girl who plays Charlie, that performance is memorable.
Mhm.
The son, Alex Wolff, I think his name is. Yes,
Yeah.
Alex
Mhm.
Wolff. His performance in the second half, same thing. And the funny thing is, the one actor that you would think, oh yeah, I know him, Gabriel Byrne. I think he's probably the weakest performance in the movie, or at least he's given the least to work with.
Mhm.
But I'm big on movies, and A24 is good for this. I'm big on movies that stay with me. And I'll
Yep.
bring that up again at the end of this stream. And if a movie can stay with me and I go home and immediately I have to tell anybody who didn't come to the theater with me about it, and I'm hopping on YouTube and looking up everything I could find about it, and I want to see like interviews with the director or the writer or whoever it is, that's a good film. And
Mhm.
that's what Hereditary did the first time I seen it. And I had to go back and watch it again in the theater, at least the first half, because yeah, it was so good. So good.
Yeah, I don't know if KB, if me and you were talking privately or if it was in the group chat, but that was something that I was trying to figure out. Like I was weighing into my decision making was the staying power and the impact that a film has on you. You know, whereas a film can be really good, but if like you said, if you're not thinking about it, you're not marinating on it for a while and just your brain. But we're getting some
especially
heavy
when you see a lot of movies, it's like they
Yeah.
almost become disposable. Like we're streaming, we got physical,
Mhm.
and we're watching. Sometimes we're doing marathons and whatnot, or we go to film festivals. They almost become disposable. But when one sticks out and it just stays with you, man, there's nothing like that.
But yeah, this is exciting for, again, people in the chat who might not be as well versed. Like we already pulled Midsummer, we already pulled Hereditary, Moonlight, Florida Project, and we're only at number 9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still a long way to go.
All right,
Shows
number
how
9.
great the studio is.
Yep,
Right.
10 years old and amazing stuff.
sure. All right, it's on you, Tracy.
So I agree with what you were saying, KB, and this film definitely stayed with me, and it has still stayed with me. I did see it recently, and I could have interchanged this with number 10, and then I also could have gone with Hereditary, but I'm choosing Beau Was Afraid for my number 9. I really just would have just chosen like all 3 of Ari Aster's, but I was like, I can't do that because then it'll turn into like the Ari Aster stream, and I don't want to do that. So, but I love Hereditary, so that's a phenomenal choice, KB. I think just on its ambition alone, I don't think you really see films this ambitious because it is like overwhelmingly ambitious. Like if you think to yourself, like if I made a movie like that, like how would I go about it? And it is just like kind of frightening in that sense because it is so over the top, but it's still really well executed. So yeah, I'm still not. I'm gonna. I can't wait to see it a second time, like Caprice did, so I can actually really even get further into it. So, but that's my number 9.
Great stream too.
Oh, thank you.
Oh yeah.
I didn't mean it for it to go like over 3 hours, by the way, but Jesus, that conversation kept going.
No, it was great. I'd actually listen to it the next day at work. You guys, it was a great stream.
Oh, thanks.
Mika, you've seen it then?
Oh yeah. Oh, trip. I would say about Ari Aster. He's one of my favorite directors. Like I always said, you're gonna get what you're gonna get. You have to digest it because, like I said, I always say his films deserve a rewatch. I want to rewatch that one again because it was so trippy. You know what I mean? And it was so out there, and then you're trying to figure out what's reality and what's not reality. But I just love his work. He's just amazing with his work. So I enjoy that one.
Yeah, for sure. That stream got me excited to give that one a rewatch for sure.
Yep.
All right, we're wrapping up our number 9, Caprice.
Okay. So my number 9, I don't have a physical copy of this either, but my number 9 is a movie called First Reform with Ethan Hawke.
Oh.
So this movie was it was a lot to process. It's about Ethan Hawke. He's a priest in New York City, and he meets up with this environmental extremist and his pregnant wife. It's very heavy on questioning religion, and then it takes a big jump into environmentalist issues, and then it kind of pushes it into a paranoia aspect. And you really see Ethan Hawke go through it in this movie. The reason I chose it for my number 9 was really because of 2 things. One of it was Ethan Hawke's performance, probably one of the best that I've actually ever seen. And the funny thing was, until I started doing the Twins Challenge, I had never heard of this movie ever. A lot of the movies that I did during the A24 Challenge, I had never heard of. I had only heard of the mainstream A24 movies, and that was really pretty much it. But when I started doing this challenge, I started diving into movies that I normally wouldn't. And this was one of them, but I'm so glad that I did. It's like you guys said earlier, A24 really, with a lot of their movies, ends with a thought-provoking scene where it just abruptly ends. That kind of happened with this movie too. You're kind of like, is this happening? Is this in his head? Is this something that's not supposed to be happening? It was very thought-provoking, and so that's why it's my number 9. I also want to say that this movie might not be for everybody. It's one of those where it might be a hit or miss for some, but I definitely recommend at least watching it once and just giving it your thought. His performance alone is extraordinary. The cinematography was my second choice for this. It's so crisp and clean, and then it's got some really beautiful overhead shots, and just the imagery alone is gorgeous. So yeah, that's why it's my number 9, but I definitely recommend at least watching it one time.
It's good.
Yeah.
Paul Schrader, same guy who wrote Taxi Driver,
Mm-hmm.
The Card Counter.
Wow.
Yeah, this is a completely different direction for this guy. This is other side spectrum of here's Taxi Driver, and then here's this movie. So it's actually a very nice change, but it's, like I said, it may not be for everybody just because of the subject matter.
Yeah. He likes existential crisis in his writing, so you'll see that in most of the movies that he directs or he writes for. It's always some kind of crisis.
There's always something going on.
Yeah, I'm making a list here on my phone as we go through.
I was doing that too. If people give it hit ones.
Yes.
I gotta check out Val so far, and I gotta rewatch Lady Bird and First Reformed. I gotta rewatch as well.
Yeah.
But we're gonna keep on chugging along here. Number 8. This is one. I'll start off. This is one that I had initially quite a bit higher, but upon finalizing everything, it lands at number 8, and that is Denis. What's his last? Villeneuve. How do you say his last name?
Villeneuve.
Oh yes,
Villeneuve.
That one.
I watched that last month for your thing.
I haven't seen that one. No.
Oh, you
It's
got
good.
Yeah, I think you told me to watch that one. Yeah, I gotta watch
Mhm.
that.
So I rewatched this one this past week. I actually watched it with my 13-year-old son, and he actually sat through the whole thing. But when it ended, he was quite flabbergasted.
That was me the first time I watched that movie too.
But man, if there was ever a film that needs a rewatch, it's this one. And you go through all these A24 titles we're talking about, and we're gonna keep on talking about it, obviously, because we're pretty early on. But there's so many great directors that are still working today, guys that are in their 40s and 50s. I think Villeneuve is in his 50s, but this film is essentially about a guy who sees an identical twin doppelganger in a movie and seeks out this guy to see how this identical twin version of him exists and what the deal is. But since you guys haven't seen this one, I won't spoil it, but it's heavy, heavy, heavy on the symbolism. The director, I think, is purposefully kind of messing with the viewer in a lot of scenes where he's giving you breadcrumbs that are, I think, intentionally leading to some confusion in the film and throwing you off the scent a little bit. But this one, upon second watch, especially like what you were saying, KB, with Hereditary, this is the type of film, as soon as it's over, you're Googling.
That's totally I was like, what did I just watch?
And I mentioned how much weight and how much emphasis I put on how a film ends. And God damn it, this has an ending you will not forget.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yep.
I love them.
Yeah, so had to be on the list. This was one again that I knew was going to be on the list. But yeah, number 8, Enemy.
Oh, I like
And
that twin
is
beam.
HBO. I think it's on HBO Max.
Oh, okay.
It is.
Yeah.
There's
I want to watch it.
Yeah, there's actually a lot of A24 movies on HBO Max right now.
It is a lot.
Yep.
Incredibly
Yep.
surprised. That's where I was able to watch a good chunk of these. But
Because HBO knows quality and has standards.
Yeah. Hopefully they keep
Except when it
everything
comes
they
to
turn
naming
into
their
the Mac.
company.
I know.
Spicy, yes, it is. Villeneuve film. He's quickly become one of my favorite guys working today. I did a stream on Fans of Something where it was Mount Rushmore of directors, and
Oh, yeah.
I had to put on like your Kubricks and your Scorseses and your Paul Thomas Andersons, and he's still working. But man, I almost wanted to just go with all younger, slightly younger, anyways, directors. Villeneuve, I love what he's doing right now.
Yeah, and that's a great thing about A24 is because they highlight and they bring up so many young directors and writers. So a lot of people who came into prominence in the last 10 years, it's because of A24 films.
Yep. Okay, Gus, what do you have for us for number 8?
This one, I feel like it's gonna everybody's gonna kill me for choosing this one, but I enjoyed it, and I also heard garbage about this movie.
oh no.
Oh,
Which
what
one?
is it?
But it's Lamb.
Oh,
I love Lamb.
I liked Liam.
Yeah, what are you talking about? Garbage.
I love.
How dare you?
I damn near had it on my list.
I didn't know what to expect because when somebody told me, it's like I don't know what I watched, so I went into this. I hope this is good, and then I went into it and with that preconception of okay, what am I getting myself into? And then it didn't really start picking up until you actually see the lamb, which I'm not gonna say. I think you guys know. And then
Has
it starts
everybody seen
picking
it?
up from there. So
I haven't.
Yeah, it was my
I'm not gonna say anything,
cinematography
but,
choice.
once you see the actual lamb, then everything starts folding and it's just enjoyable.
I gotta check that out.
Oh yeah,
How
oh
dare you.
KB, I can't wait to hear what you think of it.
And KB, with that new OLED you have, I highly recommend that
Yes.
you get the 4K off.
Yeah, that'd be
Mhm.
nice. Yeah.
That
It's very
4K
pretty
disc,
looking.
it's
I'll
one
wait
of
for this order to come in and then I'll get that.
it's one of the best looking 4K transfers in my collection. I feel like
Really?
Ooh.
Okay.
Word.
and it helps because
Definitely.
you're constantly looking at these like wide, beautiful shots of Iceland,
Oh,
which
yeah.
obviously
Yep.
helps.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mhm. The mountains.
Oh.
Yeah, the mountains.
Definitely.
Grass.
I remember the trailer for that film, and I was like, I have to see this, and then I just never saw it. But I will now that everyone's raving about it. I definitely will put it on my list.
It's
Yeah.
definitely
I
not.
just wrote it down.
It's
That whole
different.
Dare you guys?
it's an experience for sure.
Yeah.
Mhm. That's why you should
All right.
never listen to anybody. You should just follow your own,
Yeah. Yes.
your own mind.
All right, Mika, number 8.
Oh, okay. So I'm gonna go with I love a good creature feature. I went with Monster, the Monster. I don't know if anyone has seen
Ah.
this. Yes, I really enjoy this one. This one is a hit and miss. Some people like it, some people don't. It has stars Zoe Kazan, but what I love about this one is, like I said, it's a good creature feature, but it also follows a mother and daughter who have a strained relationship, and I love how the creature to me kind of plays on their relationship, because this is a creature who's kind of like a quiet place. It relies on sound to kind of figure out where you are. And the thing about this mother and daughter is that they have a hard time communicating. Mom is not the best mom all the time. She's still trying to figure out parenting, but they really need to rely on listening to each other, and for them to put trust and faith in each other to kind of navigate the situation where they're dealing with this monster. So I love that kind of twist and play on it in this film. And really, to me, the creature, it's a main part in the movie, but really it focuses on that mother-daughter relationship and kind of what you would do to sacrifice to kind of preserve that. So I'm going to go with the monster. I really love this one.
I think I was able to watch that on Amazon Prime, but you have to get like a Showtime subscription,
Oh,
something like that. It might be on, these things kind of jump around. Like Enemy used to be on Netflix and now it's on HBO. So the rights are always streaming, but I saw that one on streaming, I think last year at some point.
yeah.
I think I read some. Sorry, no, you go.
Oh, no, Tracy. No, I was just saying some people love it, some people can't stand it, but I love it.
Well, I was going to ask you because I haven't seen it, but I think I was reading about it, and the monster is. Some people interpret the monster as being a representation of the mother's alcoholism.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's how you.
Yeah, I can see that, because I took that as the monster to really represent, like I said, kind of their dynamic, because mom is really dealing, like you said, Tracy, with addiction, not being the best mom, and they're on their way to try to get the daughter to go stay with the father, because she realizes she's kind of failing as a parent. And when they interact with this monster, I kind of love that she really puts on the mother role and kind of really steps up. So it really does kind of mirror mom, the monster, I think.
That's interesting.
Yep. All right, KB.
All right. For number 8, at some point I knew I had to throw a Safdie brothers film in there, and it's not the one from 2019, but actually the one from 2017 with Good Time.
So good.
Yeah. Has everyone seen Good Time?
I haven't seen that one.
Okay. So Robert Pattinson plays this dude, Connie. He has an older brother who has a learning disability, and he's in jail, and he's trying to get him out of jail. But he's had run-ins with the law himself, so he's trying to make sure he doesn't get in jail. And the thing I love about this, and one of the Safdie brothers plays his older brother, Nick. But what I really love about this is, of course, you got the direction by the brothers, and you got the writing, but the acting. I mean, this is not your old Ropat. This is like some other dude in his body giving a different kind of performance. It's raw, it's gritty. Like I said, you got Benny Safdie, who has been in a couple of movies. I mean, if you've seen like, what's the name of that? The pizza, Licorice Pizza. He was in that too. He played the politician and all that. But you had other people too, like Jennifer Jason Leigh played his girlfriend. The dude from Captain Phillips, Picard Aki or whatever his name is. I'm the captain now. That dude, he's in it too, and that was a good year for him, because I think he was in Blade Runner the same year as well. So Blade Runner 2049. So the thing about it is, you have this low independent A24 movie, and you have these solid acting performances wrapped around this really gritty script, and the screenplay just like jumps off the page, and I think it's great. It's like, I wanted to watch it again, this time with a Sprite, if you understand what I'm talking about, you know what I'm saying. And it's just a good gritty movie. It's like a good crime, not even drama, but more like a thriller. So I just love it. It's fun. It's one I could watch over and over again. I was watching a video from Tales from the Shelf today, and he had the poster for it. I was like, oh, so I'm not alone. Other people like this movie too. That's cool. That's dope. I like that.
I have to watch that one.
Yeah, good time.
That it's also paced really well. Like, so much stuff happens as we're following this guy over the course of pretty much it's all like one night and into the next day, and he just keeps on getting into all these scenarios. And the Safdie brothers have that way of putting a movie together where it's just very anxiety ridden, and they kind of came to fame with Uncut Gems. But like you said, KB, I mean, I think a lot of people didn't even know about Good Time, and even now with Robert Pattinson kind of being more famous, that one still is I think slept on. But I love that movie.
I was surprised that he did it because he's supposed to be like this A-list actor and he's doing this independent film. But I think he got a chance to like explore his acting chops and get a different role than he might be typecast into in a big Hollywood production. So it's good. I wish more actors would do that.
He's
a lot of people. Yeah, a lot of people sleep on Robert Pattinson because they immediately type him in with Twilight, and it's like he's done so much stuff since then that's actually pretty amazing that he doesn't get credit for. So like when he got cast as the Batman, people were all up in arms about it, and I'm like, have you not seen his work since then?
Yeah,
like
so
he's
good.
done things since Twilight, and a lot of his movies are mostly independent. He's actually said in interviews that he prefers movies that he knows aren't going to be mainstream movies because he feels like they have more heart. So a lot of people sleep on Robert Pattinson for really no good reason.
Yeah,
I think the only big movies I've seen him in since is Tenet and The Batman. What other big Hollywood movies has he done? Everything else has been independent.
Yeah.
Well, he did Lighthouse, but was that? Would you consider that independent?
Yeah.
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 I wouldn't consider that mainstream at all.
It got a lot of buzz though.
It did get
definitely.
buzz.
It did.
All right, number 8, Tracy.
I am blanking out right now on who chose this one, but my number 8 is actually Green Room. Who picked this one? That was you. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't sure. Cool. Yeah. I really loved this film. I was really hesitant to watch it because I thought it was going to be kind of like Eden Lake, which the characters don't have any redemption, and it's a really like screwed up ending. And I was really
that's bleak.
That's bleak. That's a dark one there.
Yes, but at least in this one, it was a very satisfying ending, and Patrick Stewart, I think, was an incredible villain in this. Like neo-Nazis are horrifying, and they're still out there. So let's not go anywhere near those places. It was the pacing was really good. It's quick. It is like action. The female in it was fantastic. I loved the plan that they developed at the end there. Anton Yelkin, R.I.P., was fantastic in it. And like they had a great dynamic as the band too. And I think it's the girl from Arrested Development. She was great. I really enjoyed it. I was pleasantly surprised.
Yep.
Oh, that's so great, Tracy.
More Green Room love.
Yeah.
Yep. Good stuff.
All right, let's wrap up our number 8s with Caprice.
All right, so my number 8 is actually After Sun. After Sun is a movie that's very heavily based on mental illness. I actually did not know until after this movie that it is actually partially based on the director Charlotte Wells' actual own life. It's about a daughter named Sophie who goes and she's reminiscing about a summer that she spent with her father in Turkey when she was younger, while he was secretly dealing with severe mental issues. And it's just a beautiful movie. The main actor, Paul Mescal, he was actually nominated for Best Actor next to Brendan Fraser, which I'm not saying Brendan Fraser didn't deserve that at all. He absolutely did. But after seeing After Sun and knowing that he was nominated for that, I was like, oh, I wish. But Brendan Fraser absolutely needed to take that 100%. But the little girl in the movie who played Sophie, I think her name is Frankie something. She won my heart. She was so adorable, and just watching her father and just having a good time with her father, and then also realizing that he had something wrong with them, there was definitely a lot of love and a lot of joy between them, but there was also a I don't want to say attention, but definitely attention because of whatever it was that he was secretly trying to deal with. This movie might be a trigger for some people, so again, it might not be a movie for everybody, but it's definitely a beautiful movie that that I actually highly recommend for people. It was really hard to place it on my 8, but other movies took precedent. But yeah, it's solid at 8 for me.
Has anyone else seen After Sun?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
KB, have you seen it?
Have not.
Yeah, I have to get that. I like that. That's the
I like
director's
the
cut.
A24.
Yeah.
It's a store exclusive.
I know Vin got it.
Mm.
Yeah,
I was supposed to have all of my movies by today, but they were supposed to be yesterday, and then I get a notification today saying there's a delay with your shipment.
Did they give you a date? Mine is coming next
My
week.
birthday, yeah,
So,
May 18th.
Next week.
So I was like, I guess I'm getting birthday presents in the mail that day that were supposed to be here a week ago, but okay.
Are you a Taurus?
I am.
Oh, nice. I'm a Virgo, so we're both Earth signs.
Yeah, I enjoyed After Sun. It's a very well done film. It's very, very subtle, but I didn't make my list because it was almost for me too subtle. Like there are definite scenes where you're like, okay, this guy is struggling.
Yeah,
but they really hold off on that till the third act. Yeah. So if you're not really tuned in and paying attention, you might really miss a lot of the themes of that movie, which is why it didn't quite make it for me. But I did really enjoy it.
Yeah,
I feel like the subtlety worked just because you're in the perspective of someone remembering what their childhood was like with that adult. So when you're like little, you don't necessarily pick up on it, you know? And so maybe that's what the director was going for. But so I didn't mean to cut you off, Caprice.
No, you're fine. I was just gonna say I agree. That's why I'm comfortable with it being at 8 because it is a slow burn for sure. I love a good slow burn, but even for me, the pacing for this one was a little slow, but the story overtook that for me, so that's why it made my list. But I agree with you, Vin. It was very, very subtle, and if you weren't really honed in, you were gonna miss. You might miss it.
Yeah,
you might miss the whole point.
If you're watching that movie and also fucking around on your phone, you're
yeah, pretty much. And there's so many flashbacks in the movie that, again, if you're not paying attention, you're gonna miss one, and then you're gonna be like, "Oh shit! Like, where am I?" Like, you're gonna lose that. But the story overtook that for me. So for story alone, and for the performance of the main actor Paul Mescal and Frankie, that was good enough for me to at least have it on the.
And it's another one where you're left to draw your own conclusions about the end.
You are.
All right, number 7. I know that this one is a good one, or a favorite of Gus, and I'm a big fan of this movie as well, and it's Ex Machina.
Yes. It's my
good boy.
I'm not 100% sure that this is my favorite film by Alex Garland. I might like Annihilation a little bit more, but this is an awesome film. Dealing with technology and what is he, like a computer tech employee gets invited to this kind of rich, what do you want, almost like an Elon Musk type guy's secret complex, and he's developing AI robots, essentially, played by who's the woman that plays? Is it I guess she's not a well-known actress. Alicia Vikander.
Yeah,
Alicia Vikander.
But in this guy's interaction with this AI robot played by her, there's a lot of interesting stuff that goes on. Has everyone seen this one?
Oh yeah.
And this is another one with a pretty memorable ending, as she kind of bests them all and makes her way into the real world, so to say. But yeah, number 7 is Ex Machina. Very fun watch. All right, Gus.
I'm going to go with Enemy. I mean, there's not much I can say because Vin already said everything that needs to be said about that movie.
You don't want to spoil it.
Anyways, it's on HBO Max everyone watch it.
Yes.
Nika.
Okay, so I don't have a physical copy of this one, but I'm going to go with the 2015 film. And this one, you guys know, it's hard to find. Krisha.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So,
Krisha's so hard to
did everybody
find.
see that one?
Yep.
No, because I couldn't find it.
Oh,
I've
okay.
seen
So,
it.
Yo,
oh yeah, I just love Krisha. So is actually the director. He stars in the film as well, and he also the film stars his real life aunt, whose name is actually Krisha as well. And it was based off of an interaction they had in the family a while ago with a a relative coming to over the vacation, the Thanksgiving vacation, and dealing with relapse and dealing with addiction. This is a mom who's been away for a long period of time. She didn't really raise her son. He's been raised by family. She's coming back to be a part of the family after being gone for that length of time, and really kind of dealing with how they are viewing her, how she's dealing with their reactions to her, which are pretty valid because, the history and dealing with addiction, it kind of splits families apart, and really how you kind of have to cater to kind of preserving your own needs, while also, caring for that individual. So it's really good to see what occurs during this Thanksgiving dinner is just anything that could go wrong does go wrong.
Mhm.
It's just mayhem. But the acting, like I said, for Krisha, I believe this is her first acting role.
Yeah, she's not an actor.
She knocked
She's
it
not
out
an
of the
actor.
park.
which was amazing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It was a really
I
good
have to
good
check a
film.
copy of that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
Putting
that
putting the
was,
fun in
Find it.
dysfunctional.
it's
Yeah,
out of print on
It's out of
A24.
print. You can't. It's like nowhere to be found.
Tim
Mhm.
has it.
Yeah. Did you guys see? But A24 for some reason has sent me something to say that was back in stock.
Yeah,
And
they
then when I
sent me it
went,
too.
oh yeah, then when I went to, it was not. That wasn't real. So I don't know.
Did they hook you up with a 15% discount?
No. No.
You
I
said
didn't
Reply
get
to
that.
that email.
Vin
They were
was so
selective with
excited
those
about
green
his.
pulpers.
Yeah.
I saw. I think I
Vin
saw.
was so excited about
I
15%.
didn't get the 15%.
Maybe he got it. He got my
Yeah.
15%.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
No, I didn't get. Oh,
You
you
notice
guys-
it ain't
yeah.
here yet.
Yeah. Oh,
You're
yeah.
taking a sweet time.
But yeah, Krisha, that's another film where it really builds to this. That the ending of that film is a tough
Oh,
cookie
yeah.
there.
Tough watch.
But
Tough
it's
watch.
great. It's a great movie.
Yeah. And it's true. That's realistic. Especially me dealing with social work, those family dynamics. Yeah, that's realistic.
Yep. All right, number 7, KB.
All right. How many films did you say A24 is on? How many features?
129.
All right. This is the 7th one. And I got the one for this. So we're talking about
Oh, nice.
Under the Skin. So 2013, Jonathan Glazer film caused a little bit of an internet scurry because of ScarJo in it and her state of dress or lack thereof. But if you take it at just that surface level, you're missing so much of what this sci-fi is about. This is about empathy for just having like human nature about you. And for those of you that don't know, she plays this mysterious woman who shows up in the town and, has conversations and lures people into some unpleasant situations. And you find out throughout the movie why this is happening. And it really explores what it means to be empathetic as a human or not. And I love that every time I watch this, I get something different out of it. It's like one of those films that you could take from different perspectives. You could just go in and be a perv about it and just enjoy it for what it is, but it will be short-lived. Or you could really get into, like, I'll just keep saying the word empathy, the empathy of what you're experiencing during the movie, and from her perspective and perspective of the other people around her. And it just becomes something else. And then every once in a while it reminds you, hey, this is a sci-fi film. And you're like, oh, snap. So yeah. I just love that about it. And I don't know how many times I watched this. I got to check the letterbox, but a few that I remember.
That's another one that I've seen, but I got to throw that on my rewatch list again. Has everyone else seen that one as well?
I have
wanted
that.
to.
That's one I want to see.
Me too.
Yeah, I read the synopsis and it sounded like my kind of movie, but I wasn't able to get it in time.
It's trippy, man. It is so trippy.
All right, on to Tracy, number 7.
My number 7 choice was also already said by someone, and that was Gus, and it's Moonlight. I don't really have a lot to add to what he said because that's kind of how I felt watching it. I do feel like the movie almost feels like a poem. And it's almost like, besides the dialogue and the plot and the story, it just the way it flows, you get such an essence in every scene. The cinematography, at the beach, it's just, I mean, you just feel like you're there. I really enjoyed it. It felt like such a personal story, and I really loved it. So
It's a great one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
All right, Caprice, wrapping up our number 7.
My number 7 choice was Wave.
Good one.
I had never seen this movie. This was a first time watch for me. This was a heavy movie. I was not prepared for what I was gonna go into. But I'm so glad that I saw it. The performance by Sterling K. Brown, that man is just an amazing actor. He really is. And I think the first time I saw him was on This Is Us. I think that's the name of the TV show. Yeah. He's phenomenal. And the young man who plays Tyler, I'm spacing on his name right now. I think it's Calvin something.
Lucas Harrison Jr.
Yes. Yeah. Just the whole cast. I love Alexa Demi, the girl from Euphoria. I love her. Yeah. She also beautiful performance. The thing that caught me with this movie was how visually gorgeous the whole thing, the colors, the aspect ratio, the cinematography. It was just one of the most beautiful things to look at. And not just having the story being completely just jaw-dropping the whole time. You're just seeing how this family is just going through it, and they're just dealing with all this stuff, and you're just completely overwhelmed by it. But also in the background, you're getting this just beautiful scenery of South Florida, and it's just a visually stunning movie, and the performances are just A1 throughout the whole thing. And I feel like anybody who sees this movie is gonna come out feeling something. Like they're gonna want to call their mom and dad, and they're gonna want to say, how much they love them and apologize for any kind of problem that they ever had.
So
and
Yep.
You're just gonna give your brother and sisters hugs because you just never know. And so I'm so happy that I saw it. Like I said, this was my first time seeing it. I have heard of it, but I hadn't gotten to it yet. But go see it. If you haven't seen it, go see it. It's outstanding. It's a beautiful movie.
Yeah, I'm glad that it popped up, and maybe it'll pop up again later from someone else, but I'm glad that it made it on the stream because that's another one that is so underrated and underrated as a film.
Yeah.
It's one I flirted with putting on my list as well. I find the first half of that film to be a bit more engaging, though. Has everyone seen this? No, Gus hasn't. I don't want to spoil it, but there's a building point, and something happens around midway through the film that changes everything. And I find the first half of the film I find the first half just much more powerful, and then the second half kind of goes off on how repercussions, but it also delves into this kind of side storyline with the daughter and her new boyfriend and different things. I wish it had maintained that, for me, that level of, for me as a viewer, if it had maintained that what I felt the first half the whole way through, it would have been, on my list for sure. But I just found the second half to not hold the same level of engagement for me as the first half. But I agree with what you said about how it's just such a beautiful film to look at. It was shot wonderfully. All the acting was so good, and I love that movie from start to finish. But for me, the second half just isn't as strong as the first half.
Yeah, it feels like a smack up front, and then everything after that is just like waves. It's like the ripples that follow it. So
That's a great way to
Yeah,
describe it.
that's
Because
how
it is
kinda
like
took it. Yeah, you're right in it. Yeah.
Yep. All right, we're gonna keep on going here. Number 6. Number 6 for me is gonna be my first film I've seen from the Safdie brothers that I ever saw from the Safdie brothers, and that's Uncut Gems. Always been a big fan of Sandler, but obviously this is a different type of role for him. It's not, it's not a comedy. It's more of a anxiety-induced drama film as you watch this guy who can't help himself but continue to dig himself into a deeper and deeper hole. And it's another film. Again, I mentioned it in the beginning of the stream how I really value a strong ending, and this one has it. Has everyone seen this one?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, Mika, you have?
Oh yeah.
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 So when I first watched it, I was like, oh, he just got out of all this stuff and they had to kill him. Like, you
Yes.
But, again, just the way that the Safdie brothers craft a film, I love it. And I think a lot of the scenes where he's in bodegas and different shops and things, those aren't even actors. They're just filming people that really work there, which was really cool as well.
Wow.
But yeah, Uncut Gems, I'm gonna put at number 6.
Yeah, I hear a lot of people saying they can't take the dialogue and it stresses them out. And
Yeah.
Tracy
see
will probably
that.
laugh at that statement. Mika will probably laugh at that statement because if you've ever been in a New York City bodega, you're like, yeah, that's pretty much how it is.
pretty
Everybody
accurate.
just talks on top of each other. Dinner tables, especially Italian or Jewish or anything like that, they just talk on top of each other. There's 3
That's
conversations.
me and Kira in conversation.
Yeah, except when you're not completing each other's sentences, but that's typical. That's typical.
All right, Gus, what you have? Number 6.
So this is my third A24 film that I watched. I watched this last year because it's one of Ken's most hated A24 films. And
Oh, I think I know.
I watched it on Blu-ray, the $5 Blu-ray to check it out, and I actually enjoyed it. It's kind of like what KV said, once a movie hits you, when the 2 old people jump from the hill, that got me. It is Midsummer, and after that, I couldn't watch it at first. I was like, "Oh God, they're going to jump," and I couldn't. I closed my eyes, but I watched this last week, and I didn't close my eyes.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Progress.
I gotta get that director's cut. I gotta get that one.
Yeah, I need it too.
Mhm.
And I didn't notice the difference between this, but I wasn't really looking for them. I was just enjoying it. And even after the second view, like Tracy said, it's still, you pick up things that you haven't seen the first time around. So that's my number 6.
Yep. More Midsummer love. Now, how do you guys say it? Midsummer or
I
Midsommar?
said Midsommar, but
Yeah,
I
I
think
said
you say
Midsommar
either
too.
or. Yeah, but I'd say Midsommar.
I called it Midsummer forever, and then the past year, I feel like because of all of the Beau is Afraid stuff, I was watching a lot of people talk about that film, and they all said Midsommar. So I was like, oh, maybe I've just been saying it wrong this entire time. So now I say Midsommar, but I don't care. But either way,
Yeah. A24 got to have a little bougie to it. I think you do the bougie thing.
You should just be like Midsommar.
All right. Number 6, Mika.
Oh, okay. So I went with. I really love this film. And KB, I don't know if you got it yet, your package, but Saint Maud.
No, it didn't come yet.
It didn't come yet. It's supposed to come on Monday.
I'm gonna check.
So I'm saying about to say
Saint
Miss
Maud.
Mar. Saint Maud, you guys, number 6. I love this one. Has anybody seen this one?
I watched it because Vin recommended it to me, and it didn't make my top 10.
I mean, it's good. Like I said, I love it. I love the imagery. This one also has a whoa ending. Like the ending is just,
the ending is crazy.
yes, and then the imagery.
When I saw this in the back of the case, I asked Vin, "Is this about demons? And is she like haunted or some sort?" Because I don't watch those things.
It's beautiful imagery, and it's really it's following this nerd who's super religious, to the point where she kind of gives herself these tests, like an example, like walking on putting nails in her shoes, or trying to really give herself to the man above, and she's caring for a young an older woman who's sick, and part of her mission right now is to kind of atone for what she thinks is her sins, is to try to get this person to atone for their life and kind of give themselves to the Lord, and kind of how she goes about that. So I really enjoy it. Like I said, I think it's a great film. I love the imagery. I always love films when they play with religion and kind of the meaning of religion, the themes of religions, what that means to people. And I just think it's a great one. So KB, I can't wait till you see it though. Yeah.
Sounds like a good double feature with First Reform.
I remember us talking about Saint Maud in the chat, and all I remember was Cut talking to Vin about the movie, and then I just saw the last post underneath, and it just said, "I'm scared" with eyeballs underneath. And I was like, it's a great movie. Just watch the movie. But he's like, I'm scared. But I didn't want to give anything away, so I was like, just watch it, guys. It's okay.
It was his image. I was like, I want to make sure that I'm not going to see anything that
I know that you don't want to see.
Not sleep for a week, for a month.
He didn't want to be like KB. He didn't want to have that bad juju in his house.
I know.
And Mika's sending it to
too
me.
Bad.
It's kind of like, I don't know if you guys heard, but when Mel finished watching the whole Paranormal Activity, she said her TV started turning off and on, and weird stuff happening. I was like, I don't want that stuff to happen to me.
Oh yeah, no, that's not
Oh my gosh.
No, sir.
Well, KB, keep me posted when you get it, because they said it's supposed to be there Monday.
I will.
Okay.
I'll check the mail after we're done here.
Okay.
Nice. All right, what do you have number 6, KB?
At number 6, I'm going to continue to love for Lady Bird. That was my 2017 movie of the year. I loved it because I've loved Greta Gerwig since Frances Ha. I saw that at a small art house theater, and I'm like, who is this chick? I mean, she's definitely going to be doing stuff. And then when she got with Noah Baumbach and the whole mumblecore movement and everything like that, I was waiting for her to do something on her own. And
oh no. Yeah, I know
it might have been his weather.
Yeah, the thunderstorms.
Yeah.
I'm here. Yeah.
Don't do that, KB.
I'm good.
I know we were just talking about that juju too.
We were just talking about that bad stuff, and then you go and disappear like that. You want Gus to not sleep tonight? Why would you do that to Gus?
I'm good. So yeah, when she came along and she did Lady Bird, just to wrap it up, not only was it her own voice, her own story, but everything that you said before, Mika, about it, but what I also loved about it is that it plays like a love letter to Sacramento, which is where Gerwig is from. So you see a lot of Sacramento landmarks. You see her moving through Sacramento. But yeah, Laurie Metcalf, that whole mother-daughter dynamic is just classic. The scene that they show in the trailers where they're arguing, and then all of a sudden it's like, you like this? Oh yeah, I like that for you. That is so typical. I've watched it twice in my house, so I can tell you that's how it goes. But yeah, I love that movie. And for a strong year like 2017 was, that definitely was my favorite.
That's already on my rewatch list.
Yeah,
it's better the second time. It really is.
KB, are you looking forward to seeing what she does with Barbie?
Just for the fun aspect of it. I think it's going to be campy, cheesy fun, and all the guest stars too. I'm looking forward to that, so it should be fun.
It's crazy to see Noah's name attached to the screenplay for a film like that. It's like, I heard it's like a lot more political than the trailers have let off. So we'll see what happens there.
They're trying to draw people in with the kitschiness of it. But then when they get you, it's going to be like, I got you.
Yeah, they drew me in with that 2001 spoof trailer.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah.
So, Lady Bird.
Number 6.
Choice. My number 6 won Best Picture this year. Everything Everywhere All at Once. Another ambitious film. It is very it's such a complicated yet simple plot.
Mhm.
And I think the Daniels really really did that balance like so well of both things. You know, Michelle Yeoh, Ki Hui Kwan, the whole cast did a fantastic job, and it's visually amazing. And I think it's awesome that a film like that actually won Best Picture because you know
Yep.
it's not, you know, it's like a maybe hopefully a new era of let's you know, have films win that aren't your safe choices. So
Yeah.
Yep.
Great choice.
I agree.
Good choice.
thank you.
All right, Caprice wraps up our number 6.
So number 6 for me is Marcel the Cell with Shoes.
Aw.
Again, this was another first watch for me. I fell in love with Marcel. You guys were all right. Cutest thing I've ever seen probably in my life. Who knew that, you know, a little 1-inch shell with shoes on would just have so many hard-hitting facts on life. But you know, the fact that this was based off of an actual like YouTube series that was started, you know, a while ago that turned into a feature film was actually super awesome for me. I believe it's Jenny Slate and Dean Fletcher who actually made this. They were the creators of the show as well. Just to hear their story with it, and how it kind of played out. So they started dating. Well, they were working together when they first did the first YouTube story. As it started going on, they started to date. Then they got married. And then ultimately, while filming the movie, they got divorced. So watching Marcel with shoes on, you can kind of see how their relationship started progressing and ultimately ended. I had no idea about all that until I started going and looking into it furthermore. And then also of amazing fact that I didn't know about this movie even going in is the person who did the music for this is a composer called Disaster Piece. And he also did the score for one of my favorite movie scores of all time for It Follows. And it was such a different dynamic to hear him go from something so symphonic and so dark as It Follows to this. And it was such like it was so night and day. But I absolutely loved Marcel when the show with shoes on, like the show with shoes, his little relationship with the grandmother, and just how it had that my age might be showing here, but how it had like that real world aspect where he was like, it was like a docu-series, and how you were just getting that first camera shot and he was getting interviewed and things like that. It was very cute. And it's probably one of the more happier movies on my list. And so I'm glad it was this one. You know, A24 movies, most of them are pretty heavy. This one I feel is very, very, very wholesome, and you could actually watch this maybe possibly with a child, and they wouldn't be scarred for life. But no, very, very fun, very cute. The animation is very different. This one was also nominated, but it was going up against some heavy hitters at the time, and so I understand why it didn't win, but still, I can see why it's nominated, and I'm very, very glad that I saw it. And again, the reason I did see it was because of the Twins Challenge. So I just want to thank you guys straight up, because a lot of these movies, I like I said, I would have never. This is not something that's in my forte. Usually, I'm watching a lot of horror 24/7, and so these were kind of a breath of fresh air for me. But I'm so glad that I saw it, and I'm so glad that you guys were giving me recommendations as we were going, because I did see it on the list, and I was kind of like, why do I want to watch a movie about a show? but now I feel like a complete ass for thinking that. So I'm so glad that I saw it. But for anyone in the chat who hasn't seen it, it lives up to what it is. So I'm happy it's my number 6.
Yeah, I think the voice actor that they cast for Marcel did phenomenal. And if you imagine that film without that voice and without that little
Yeah, it's the
humor
it's
that
Jenny
Jenny
Slate, right?
it's Jenny Slate. Yeah.
Jenny Slate.
Yeah.
so
Mhm.
good.
Yeah.
The thing that stands out to me the most about that movie is it's just so there's so many instances where it's so rare that I laugh out loud. Like give me
Right?
Jim Carrey, Billy Matt, whatever, but to actually make me chuckle out loud and for Marcel the Shell to make me laugh out loud, like I posted
Right.
a video on my Instagram story. Did anybody see that?
I
Yes,
did.
I laughed so much from that.
I was cracking up.
He was reading comments and someone commented on his video, I love this, something blah blah blah, peace and love, and Marcel's
Peace
like,
and love.
what a weird thing to advocate for.
And
Like, I'm about
he was
war.
like, "Of course, peace. We're just like warland here, but peace and love, I guess." Like,
That'll begin, Marcel.
War.
yeah, it just had that very kind of dry, sarcastic humor that I love.
That scene where I think they're lighting some type of little tea light with a like a
It's a
napkin in the
tea-
sky, and then
Mhm.
it's floating majestically into the sky. This little
Yeah.
dog is barking,
Mhm.
and Marcel's like, "Why is that your reaction to something so beautiful?" Like,
Yeah, I have
That's so
questions.
cute.
He's adorable.
So
It's
cute.
adorable. That's all I can say about it without ruining it. It's adorable. So
Yeah, and that was my pick for animation because they don't really have,
Yeah,
yeah, they
that's
did
the
it.
only animation.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
I love all the close-ups of like your average household with like the dust and the wood floors and the counters and all those things that you're getting these really tight close-ups. So that was very cool to see as well. But we are cracking the
Very
top
well
five
made.
here. Cracking the top five, and I'm not going to talk much about this because it was mentioned, but that is good time.
Yes, sir.
So if you remember, I had Uncut Gems number 6, another Safdie Brothers film, and I was weighing weighing them against each other, and I feel like Good Time is more of a good time. So I'm going Good Time ahead of Uncut Gems for my number 5. But Gus, what do you got?
I'm going to go with The Green Knight. I really enjoyed this one. I for some reason I enjoy road trip movies and period movies, and I feel like this is like two of the movies that I enjoy into one, and it also kind of gave me a little bit of a Princess Bride kind of feel, where he went on a voyage to go see the Green Knight, and I really enjoyed the cinematography on this movie, and the 4K just looks amazing. So.
Yeah, that's
another one you need an
24 too,
OLED
right?
for.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You definitely need an OLED for that movie because everything is like dark.
Oh, the
dark,
OLEDs.
and then the
Yes.
colors when it's in the woods just pop like
rich, very rich.
Mm-hmm.
I know I need to get on that. I need to get on that level. That OLED.
I love the little cameo from Barry Kogan. I'm not sure if I'm saying his last name right. Is that Kogan? He plays that kind of like vagrant drifter guy in the middle part of the movie.
Yeah, Keoghan. It's like still debated. It's super Irish though.
It's Irish.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoy him more and more and more. The more I see that guy, the more something about him. I don't know what it is. I just enjoy him a lot.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
All right, Mika, number 5, top 5.
Yeah, I think you picked it, Vin, but my number 5 is Ex Machina.
That's a nice addition.
Oh
Yeah,
yes,
beautiful.
yes. This is that one I got from before they stopped shipping. I got that zombie one. Yeah, that's
Oh,
Steelbook.
look at Mika. She's so fancy.
I know. I tried. Well, only from certain films,
You're gonna crack that open on the live stream?
Huh?
You're gonna crack that open?
It's just in the plastic container. I'll show you guys. Yes, I open my stuff. I open it. So yeah. Yeah, this one was really nice. So that was the Steelbook. Oh,
that's cool.
So
that's
beautiful. The back. Oh my
yeah,
God.
the back. Yeah.
That looks like the same artist who did one of the Hunger Games steelbooks.
Yeah, I love it. It's nice. Yeah. But yeah, I just love this film. I kind of always love things where you kind of going against the status quo. I think Vin, you said it all, but like especially now when you see in the news they're doing a lot of talks about AI and all this stuff, kind of really playing God and kind of the repercussions that comes from that, thinking that we as humans are superior and kind of can tackle things we have no business delving into. So that I think that was the ultimate theme of the movie, how far is too far, and kind of what the repercussions can be. But I really, really just love that, and I kind of love just it asks a lot of questions, kind of who can you trust, what we're giving our attention to in terms of technology on a day-to-day basis. But I just really enjoy that one. That's another one I rewatch often. I'm always getting something different. So that's my number 5.
Yep. That's another one I rewatched, but that's when I showed my son. So I have a 13-year-old. My older son's 13, so he's old enough now where I pretty much will show him anything. But he liked that one a lot.
Oh, he did? Oh, yeah.
All right, KB, number 5.
All right. Number 5 could have been 4, 3, 2, or 1. Another documentary. This one won the Oscar for Best Documentary, 2015, and it's Amy.
Oh, yeah.
All about Amy Winehouse.
Yeah, that was good.
Big fan of Amy Winehouse. Her album Frank, and then of course her Grammy big hit, which was Back to Black. And you hear a catchy song, you sing along, but how many times do you actually stop and think about the lyrics? And then you stop and think, okay, if this person who sung it wrote it, are they writing from experience? You watch this documentary and you see she is talking from total experience. That song Rehab really happened.
I have that. That's the top 10 one album for me.
Just Friends really happened. So it's weird to see this story of this girl who pretty much wanted to be a jazz singer and get pushed into and to quote Lady Gaga, just taken up by this fame monster for something that she didn't even want, and struggling with substances and so forth, and led to her demise. And I can't listen to Back to Black the same way and sing along like it's all sing-songy and whatnot, because of this documentary, it means so much more. And my God, it's powerful. It is so powerful.
I picked that one for documentary.
There's no reason to go into details. It's just something you just need to watch at least once, and just powerful stuff, man.
You sold me, KB.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one.
Stuff. I think it's still on Netflix. If not, it might be on HBO Max. Who knows?
I'm pretty sure my wife watched that without me.
Yeah.
Ask her to watch it again.
Yeah, that's such a loss though. Yeah, because like I said, that's and I have the vinyl too, but that's just one of my just a talent, such a talent.
Let's see.
Yeah.
I'm looking it up now to see. It is on HBO Max now. Or Canopy if you have Canopy.
I think that's where I saw it.
Yeah. Check it out. It's good. It's short too. It's only it's not. It's not. I bet. It's over 2 hours long. It's not short. Wrong movie.
Yeah.
It just flies by.
It does.
Oh yeah, dude, though. Yeah.
All right, Tracy, you're number 5.
Yes, I believe at least 2 people brought this one up. It is Uncut Gems. Just watching someone make the worst decisions possible over and over again. The Diamond District is exactly like that film. So it is so realistic. It's crazy. Very busy, very hectic area. And Adam Sandler was just fantastic. So I don't really know what else there is to say about it, but the suspense, the tension, everything the Safdie brothers do well, they really did the same here, like just as fantastic. I love that film, and it was nice to see Idina Menzel actually in like a like a serious film role. So because she can act, and
Nice. Okay, wrapping up our number 5 picks. Caprice, what do you have?
Can you guys hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So my number 5, it's already been mentioned before, so I won't get too much into it again, but my number 5 is Green Room.
Okay.
Patrick Stewart is a villain. I couldn't pass that up at all.
Yeah.
It probably one of my more favorite performances of his of all time, because he was a villain. He's always been cast as a hero and as a good guy, but let me tell you right now that Sir Patrick Stewart was made to be a villain.
Mhm.
He was born to be a villain, and I'm so happy that he got casted as this villain.
Mhm.
It was made for him. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care who else was in the casting room. I don't care who else they had thoughts of. It was for him.
Mhm.
Straight out him. The funny thing is, I live in California, and so the green room is actually based in Oregon. I've been to the place that this movie is it's
Oh.
shot.
Really?
The funny thing is, if the people in that town are like, we don't have Nazis here, we swim. No Nazis here, we promise. But just having that beautiful Oregon background, and then going into this just dirty, grimy, you felt dirty watching it. Like, you just felt gross, and just being in that green room with them, and like everybody had said earlier, Alton Yelchin, amazing performance, but like, you fall in love with the whole band. It's not just him. You feel for them at the end, and it's just a great movie, great soundtrack, just a super fun movie all around. So Green Room is my number 5.
I think Green Room has come up the most so far, if I'm not mistaken.
I haven't seen
Love
it.
it. I love it.
Midsommar came up 4 times.
Yeah,
4.
Midsommar too. Yeah.
And I think Green Room now got at least 3 or 4 mentions.
Yeah, and I don't think I've ever seen in a film someone get dragged from a knife in their head like that. Like, that sounds like he dragged. Like, I guess
It's brutal.
Yeah, the director said he saw that from like prison footage in something he
Oh
watched
my
on
God.
YouTube or something.
Wow.
That inspired him to.
Makes
I've
sense.
never seen
Remember,
that.
Gus didn't see it. Gus
Yeah.
didn't see it.
True,
But
true,
see,
true.
Gus, you can handle it, Gus. You
It's
can
not a
handle
big
it.
spoiler though. It's not a big
There's
spoiler.
no demons. There's no possession.
No possession.
No possession.
It's no bad juju.
Just bludgeoning.
Yeah, bludgeoning. Just a good bludgeoning.
All right, so we're getting down to some of the heavy hitters here on our list. Number 4. My number 4 is going to be bringing back Mr. Ari Aster, and it is Hereditary. Just such a great film. I mean, everyone has seen this, I'm sure, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Gus,
what
no?
can be said about this?
I wanted to, but
Oh,
you didn't see it?
no, I didn't see it because I wanted to get the 4K, and yeah.
Okay, so we'll keep it fairly. We'll keep it spoiler free, but it's gonna, I think, always be remembered as one of the best horror films to come out of this past decade.
Yeah.
It dips its toes into some surrealism, which I enjoy when horror doesn't go too hard into that, but I like a little dusting of surreal. And Ari Aster is just meticulous in everything he does, and this is no exception. So we won't speak too much about it. If you guys are in the chat, I'm sure you already know about it, but for the sake of Sir Gus here, I don't want to spoil it. But yeah,
thank you.
Hereditary.
Thank you.
You'll never be
Gus,
able to
I can't wait till you watch that. Gus, you got to watch that soon because I want to hear what you think.
No, I'm telling you, Mika, after this stream, I'm going to keep going down the list of A24 since I'm hooked.
Good.
All right. What do you have for us then, Gus, for your number 4?
Okay, my number 4 is a recommendation that I got from Vin, and it's Marcel with shoes on. I really, really enjoy this movie, especially the part where he's letting the dude that's filming in his little cave, and the guy was like, wait, hold on, is that an inhaler? Is that someone's inhaler?
He's like, I don't know, I kind of use it as a slide.
I think somebody left it or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a very, very cute movie. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It is.
That's cute. Is that the cry? Which edition is that?
The A24 store.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, okay, the store.
Yeah, they put out great releases. If you have,
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, the only one I have from them, I have the Lighthouse one, but I think the only I just want that Midsommar one. Yeah.
Yep, that's a beautiful one too.
Oh, and I have the Lamb one too.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, Mika, on to number 4.
Okay, so I don't have this, but it was already mentioned by Caprice, and it's Waves. Yeah, so Waves to me, like Capri said, is deep. You know what I mean? It's kind of, it hits you with a gut punch while you're watching it. But I really, really enjoyed it. I think it's a great film. I think it kind of got lost when it came out, and I think it's very underrated because a lot of people haven't heard of it or haven't watched it. But the performances are great. Taylor Russell, I think, also. She did a great performance in that as well. And I know you guys said kind of like, I think the first act is a little bit more powerful, but I think again it's kind of like the KB said, the title, the waves of grief, because you're really dealing with a family who's coping with grief, and they're all at different stages of how they're processing this traumatic event that affects the family. So I do kind of like how they dwell off into that, and then in the latter part, it gives a little bit of light because it has been so dark of a movie, I think, that I enjoyed it. But Waves would be my number 4.
Number 4, nice. I'm glad that one's getting mentioned for sure.
Yeah.
All right, KB, number 4.
All right. Another directorial debut, this time from Joe Talbot, the A24, one of them that I'm waiting on right now. And it's kind of bittersweet right now with what's going on in real life. But my number 4 is The Last Black Man in San Francisco.
I want to see that one.
Yeah, it stars Jimmy Falls, and it's kind of like he's playing himself. And it co-stars the now in trouble Jonathan Majors. And the majority of the story kind of leans on their friendship. But there's so many great things about this. For one, Talbot's writing, his direction, him using Jimmy in pretty much a biography movie where he's trying to reclaim a house that his grandfather may or may not have grown up in. And the thing I like about this, and Caprice could appreciate this, is it gives you a little historic look at the Fillmore district in San Francisco, which I can't even walk in right now because, you know, I ain't got cash like that. So, but once upon a time, you know, that was where people coming home from World War II were able to get these beautiful houses and, you know, stained glass windows and things like that. And now it's like multi-million-dollar homes that, you know, have been gentrified and turned over so many times. So the story of this man trying to reclaim what he still feels belongs to his family and his friendship is so touching. And what I also like about it is that, all right, so you have Jimmy Falls and you have Jonathan Majors, but then you also have some other people that you wouldn't expect to show up in this independent film, like Danny Glover and Tisha Arnold for Martin fans, and what you call him, Mike Epps in a serious role, you know, not cracking any jokes. So it was just so left of center, which is something we're kind of getting used to seeing from A24 Film, and I think that's what attracts them to taking on projects and distributing movies, is that left of center feel. And once again, this is one that just stayed with me, and I was left thinking, how much of this was really true? How much of this was fabricated? So
all of it.
It's
all real. It's true.
Oh, really?
yeah.
It's all real. That's how it. That you know, unfortunately, you know, I live in San Francisco, so a lot of San Francisco that you see now, like KB was saying, you know, it's becoming unattainable for a lot of people, and it's heartbreaking to see, but it's he's 100% correct. You know, the Fillmore district used to be this beautiful and amazing place with all these beautiful homes, and you know, you never had to lock your door when you were there, and now you're just seeing the times, you know, and you're just seeing it. And especially here in San Francisco, the funny thing, you know, he said something about Danny Glover. Well, Danny Glover lives here. Danny Glover lives here, and you know, I've actually seen him so many times near City Hall and in Chinatown. He's very proud to be living here, so I was not surprised to see him in this movie. Mike Epps, Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, not so much, but yeah, it's all based off of very, very, very true events
Mhm.
going on
That's
here,
awesome.
especially in California.
Mhm.
Fortunately.
Yeah.
Remember that-
Yeah, across really everywhere. They just did a special about people spending half their income even just on places to live and being priced out of being able to even buy homes and things of this sort. So it is a crisis.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's another one that has a nice A24 tall boy.
Ooh, I
I
like
can't
that.
wait.
Cool.
I can't wait.
Oh, you got that one too, KB?
That's what's coming.
Oh, look
Yeah.
at that. You gotta be tearing the shops up.
We're all getting fancy.
Oh, I love that. That's nice.
That is nice. I like the little gold.
Yeah, I love the bag.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is really nice.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I love that.
I'm gonna place my order for that one tonight after this.
Wow. They do a
There you
great
go.
job with their
They
packaging.
do.
Mhm.
They really do.
Yeah.
Mhm. That's why I was so shocked because usually everything is in stock. That's why I was so shocked that Cruise Ship
Yeah,
didn't like
same.
that. I thought, what the?
That's
After
been out
Sun
of print
is
for a
sold out.
while.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, Tracy, number 4.
Yes, this film has also been mentioned before, and it's After Sun. I know it's a very subtle film, and on the surface, it looks just like a dad and daughter on a vacation in Turkey. But once you get to the end, so many moments throughout the film make a lot more sense. You know, he takes her to like the rug store, and he's like, "Oh, I want to buy this rug," and then like cut to him later on, like really depressed, looking at the rug because he can't afford it. There's like little mentions of him not doing well financially throughout the entire movie. You know, she loses her goggles and in the ocean, and he's disappointed, and she's like, "I'm so sorry, like I know they were expensive," things like that. And you see him constantly practicing Tai Chi and like has all these mental health books. And I do find, I mean, I have not knock on wood, lost a parent yet, but like the relationship you do have with the parent does continue to evolve after they pass because of the memories you have, and then also looking at certain circumstances from an adult's perspective instead of just a child's perspective in that moment. So I thought it was really just a beautiful film, and I think Paul Mescal is gonna, like, I think he's gonna skyrocket now. I think he's now gonna become a megastar. So yeah.
Oh, I think you muted, Vin.
You're muted, Vin.
Yeah.
There
Good
you go.
now?
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
I was like, wow, does everyone not agree with me?
I know.
I try to mute myself when someone else is talking because I'm on my wife's laptop. That's what I stream on usually, and she has a thing where when she gets a message, you hear this loud ding. You guys might have heard it once or twice.
Oh.
So I try to work it out with her, like put it on silent, what's going on, but it's still an elusive mystery to us. So, but yeah, if Alex Cinema Inspired is still in the chat, he's a big After Sun fan. But Caprice, we're gonna wrap up our number 4s.
Okay, so my number 4 is the second lighthearted, kind of funny movie on my list, and that is Swiss Army Man. I don't feel like this movie gets a lot of love. I think people just kind of look at it as kind of over the top, ridiculous, but that's the point of it. You have Paul Dano, who I absolutely love.
Yeah,
I love him.
He's amazing actor, completely underrated. Got Paul Dano stranded on an island. He's just hopeless, just losing hope that he's not going to be saved ever at any time, and he's just completely depressed and just falling into just a dark void. And then when he is ultimately going to go and end it for himself, he sees a body on the beach, and it just happens to be Daniel Radcliffe, who's already dead, but he's talking, and he's animated, and he's very flatulent.
Oh, wow.
This movie caught me by surprise.
KB's dying.
Oh my God. This is the Daniels, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is their directorial debut.
It's on one hand you have a man who's very much alive on the outside, but he's basically dying on the inside, and then you have another man who's literally dead on the outside but so alive on the inside.
Oh.
And they just complement each other so well. And like I said, the movie is ridiculous, don't get me wrong. But that's what made it so good to me. Yes, it's ridiculous, but the message behind it was very strong and it was very heartfelt. And as ridiculous as it was, I kind of sat at the end and I teared up a little bit. It was very touching, very I loved it a lot. And like I said, I know it's ridiculous and I know that it's not a movie that a lot of people take seriously, but I feel like if people watch it and actually give it a chance and get past the farting dead man, I feel like you'll actually enjoy it very much. And the performances are also very well done. Daniel Radcliffe is ridiculous, but I really fell in love with Paul Dano's character, very, very much so. So yeah, Swiss Army Man is my number 4.
Okay, I have to watch that.
I really gravitated toward Paul Dano after I saw There Will Be Blood. I was like, I just loved him in that. And then ever since then, I kind of pay attention to finding him in other things. And when I saw that he was in an A24, and then I read the synopsis, and it was like, what the heck is going on?
I know. I did too.
I'm gonna have to watch that one.
Yeah,
Oh,
I enjoyed it.
crazy.
I don't mind the wackiness. I think that's obviously part of its appeal. I think Caprice, you're muted. Or no?
No.
Okay. I think that's part of the appeal of it. Obviously, it did start to grind on me in the final act, though.
I know. I know it did, because it did with me too.
But to see Daniel Radcliffe, Harry Potter, playing that role, I'd love to show that to Harry Potter fans.
Oh, I know.
They'll hate you.
I think most of them are avoiding it like the plague. Like, I think most of them are like, I don't want that bad juju in my house, so they're just like ignoring it like it doesn't exist. But if they actually gave it a chance, I feel like that, the quirkiness and the wackiness is what makes it a good movie. And I wouldn't say that I would have anybody take this movie seriously at all, but it does have some really good messages behind it because of their dynamic. So,
yeah.
And speaking of Paul Dano, RJ is saying that he had his directorial debut with a movie called Wildlife. Has anyone heard of that or seen it?
No, I'm adding it though to my list.
Yeah, I'm going to as well.
Now I'm really curious. Yeah.
RJ's always in the streams, and I vibe with his opinion on pretty much everything. So definitely gonna have to check that one. But we are into our top 3.
Ooh.
Top 3, and kicking it off, I'm gonna mention one that was already mentioned, but I have it a bit higher, and that is Saint Maud. My taste tends to drift more toward darker, I guess, apparently. And this movie just checks all the boxes for me. Like, when I'm looking for a good horror movie, I've watched a lot of horror, and it seems like all of my favorite horror movies have some similar things in common. They all have a strong female lead. All my favorite horror movies. They all have some type of element of religion involved, which this clearly does as well. And they all have I mentioned it earlier, but just a little bit of surrealism, not too much, but just a little. Whereas Hereditary smacks you in the face with these graphic images of violence, surrealism, which is amazing.
Oh, yes.
A film like this does the same thing, but it's done a lot more subtly. And it's a look at mental health and religion. And again, I have said it a few times on the stream, but I'm a big advocate for a powerful ending. And you will not forget the ending of Saint Maud.
That's true. I still remember it.
It's incredible. Incredible. So this is probably higher than most anyone would have it, but I love this movie. I've watched it, I think, 3 times.
Yeah, I like that placement.
But yeah, moving on to Gus, number 3.
This I watched this movie. This is my second A24 movie that I ever seen, but I watched it and didn't even think it was an A24 film. Uncut Gems. I really enjoy this one. Like, this is the story of what not to do with people's belongings, because they will come and bite you when they come and ask for it. And then when you have it all figured out, obviously it has come and cut you off the earth. Yeah, that was a great watch, and I enjoyed.
And we've talked about that a couple times because a couple people have pulled it, but I think Kevin Garnett was even pretty good in that movie.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
Yeah, and like Tracy said, even what's her name? Menzel. I don't want to butcher it like John Travolta.
Idina Menzel.
Idina Menzel.
Oh my God! What did John
You could never
Travolta
do
say?
worse than that.
He says,
She was like Adele Darjeem or something.
It was, I don't know what it was.
Yeah,
You said it confidently.
Yes.
she did.
He thought he had it.
Kind of like a real person, but anyway, it's really good in this movie.
Gus, have you seen Good Time?
No, but I have it here in my little list that I'm writing of movies to watch. Yes.
So I think me and KB are in agreement that it's another film that's very similar tonally, but I think Good Time is damn good, if not better. Same directors.
Yeah.
All right, perfect. I'm gonna check it out. I'll let you guys know.
Really enjoy.
All right, Mika, number 3.
Okay, so number 3 is going to be The Witch.
I want to see that one, but that was also on my. I'm gonna.
You scared of that one too, guys?
Hey, that's folk horror. Not bad juju. Not bad juju.
Yeah, this one's Gus. You can do this one, Gus. I think you can manage this one.
Okay, because I've been thinking about getting the what's it called, the second sight version.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what you had to.
Yeah, that's what I have. Yeah. I had to get that one right away too. I love it. Yeah, and I think it's out of print now. That one, I'm not sure.
It is.
The standard edition is.
Yeah, they have just the case with the movie.
Yeah. But I just love it. It's also kind of bleak, you know what I mean? But I love, like I said, the witchcraft, the religious themes. Like I said, it follows a family. I think it's like in 1630s who 16, they kind of are dealing with outcasts, because I think it's a Puritan society. They're outcasts, and now they're living on their own. One of the young children vanishes, and they start blaming Anya Taylor-Joy's character. I think her name is Thomason. In the movie, they start blaming her for all the bad luck that is occurring in the family. She's being called a witch. But I love how it's playing with the family dynamics again. I love, like you said, Vince, some religious themes. And I also love a good movie with witchcraft and delving into that and that whole theme. But I really love it. It's kind of, like I said, it's dark. It's kind of depressing movie. But again, I really love the imagery. And again, I love the ending. I think it has a great ending, and that also has some great imagery at the end of it that I really, really enjoy. And I kind of love Thomas's choice at the end on what she chooses to do. I really love that part of the ending too. She kind of, goes all out there with, I don't want to give it away, but it's a great, to me, that's what I would have did if I was in that circumstance. I mean, what else can you do? But yes, but
to the place with the thing in the bay.
Hey, I'll take it. Yeah.
For what it's worth, I've been to enough like farms and petting zoos. Goats just look evil.
Oh.
I admit though, the goat that they found for this,
it's their eyes. It's their eyes. You can't trust them.
The right eyes.
Goat was on another level though. Yeah.
This goat is a whole. Do you know they didn't have a single other goat for backup in case something happened to this one, because this one just looks so F up that everything's like, this is it.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
Dude, Black Phillip was my favorite part of that movie, man. And that ending for that, I was like, finally. Like, you sat there and you're like, I knew it.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, I knew it.
Yeah.
But we can't ruin it for Gus.
Yeah. So watch it, Gus. It's good. You won't be scared on this one, Gus.
Okay.
I'm telling you, watch it.
Okay.
It's like folklore. It's kind of folk horror. It's not too bad.
Okay.
If you could read Hansel and Gretel, you could watch The Witch.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, there's nothing really that scary about it.
Okay.
I'm really mad I didn't watch it before this because it's so high on my list for A24 films, but it's I like this week or next week for sure I'll watch it.
Oh, I can't wait to hear what you think, Tracy.
Definitely.
All right, KB, top 3.
Yeah, these top three really are tied for one. They're interchangeable. So, my number three, or 1A, if you want to call it that, is Ex Machina. This is the A24 film I've watched the most. Alex Garland, I love anything he does. You mentioned before that you put Annihilation a little higher. I still go back to this more, and I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the whole AI thing. You know, I'm a techie, so I like that. I love Alicia Vikander, so her in this role is great. I wanted that freaking zombie exclusive, but I couldn't justify it. I couldn't justify it at the time.
I
I
know.
wasn't
Well,
working.
you know what?
So.
I'm lucky because Kira always give me those. She's so good.
Yeah. Good sis.
I know.
But you know, visually, this won the Oscar for visual effects, best visual effects. And once you see it once, you understand. The moment you see the AI robot, you're blown away by the way the effects look. And Oscar Isaac is tremendous, and Dom Hall Gleason is perfect in that role. And you get, you know, a little bit of Saturday night. What else do you want in a movie? So, yeah, 1A or 3, however you want to see it. Ex Machina.
1C.
There you go. 1C. 1C.
All right, Tracy, what do you got? Top 3.
Well, I'm actually really happy that Caprice chose a lighter film because I feel like, you know, it's easy to choose. It not easy, but there's so many. A lot of A24 films are very serious and very heavy. And I was kind of embarrassed to choose this as my number 3, but I still stand by it. And that's The Disaster Artist. I think that like doing that film was just incredible. The Room is, you know, the worst film of all time, but the story is so interesting of how they got it made. I think James Franco is incredible in that movie, and he directed it too. So I mean, everyone's performances are so good. I really think they captured the essence of what it was like to make that movie and what it's like to make really low budget movies in general. Yes.
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, I saw it on Amazon.
It's so fun.
Yeah.
It's
okay.
The original too.
I'm so sorry, what?
The original is also really good too.
Oh,
it's actually a remake. Yeah. It really just captures what it's like to make that, and I don't know. I think everyone just gives it 100%, and it did get like quite a few like nominations for certain awards, which was fun. And I mean, I remember reading in the trades like a long time ago, like, oh, Tommy Wiseau is going to be having James Franco play him in a movie about the making of The Room. And I was like, what? like no one would ever expect that. So only A24. So that's my pick for number 3.
Good pick.
2 Golden Globe nominations in 2018. Best Picture Golden Globe nomination and Best Actor.
Yeah, and he won, I think. I think he won the Golden Globe for that.
Franco.
No.
Okay.
I wasn't saying if they won or not, but they were nominated at least.
Yeah.
All right, Caprice, wrapping up our number 3 picks.
My number 3 is A Ghost Story. This movie.
Oh, that one looked interesting too.
I don't even know if I have proper words for this movie. It's so unique. I want to kind of compare it to After Sun in the aspect that it really makes you work to figure out what your thoughts are on what you're seeing. It's just such a beautiful movie. Like, who would have thought that a movie would be so impactful when the main character is Casey Affleck and he's a ghost. It's a man in a sheet. Watching, you know, he's passed away and he's watching he's stuck in time and he's watching the love of his life grief his life and move on. It was so crazy to watch, and it's very theme heavy. You're also watching a movie that doesn't have too much dialogue to it. So it's really reliant on what you're seeing and how you're taking it in. Everyone who watches this movie, it's going to take it in different. I'm going to see it one way, KB would see it another, Vince would see it in a totally different way, and that's the beauty of the movie. No one is going to go into seeing it and being like, oh yeah, that's the same thing, or yeah, I felt that way too. No, you didn't. You took it all completely different. You related to it in a completely different way. Rooney Mara, is that her name? Am I saying right?
Yep.
Incredible. Incredible. There's a scene in this movie. Vin and I were talking about it in a chat, and there's a scene where the ghost is standing there watching her, and she had gone a few days without eating because she's just in a complete depression, and she starts eating a pie. A lot of people got lost at this part of the movie for some reason. I was completely devastated by it. It's literally like a 5-minute scene of her just eating a pie while this ghost watches her. She's sitting on the floor. She's eating the pie with a fork, and you're just kind of just watching her, just like, how is she coping right now? She's forgetting how to eat. She's forgetting to eat. It's just it's such a good movie, and it also has an amazing score to it as well. And and like I said, the beauty of it is that every single person who sees it is going to see it differently. So to me, this is a very conversation-worthy movie for everybody, because everyone's going to take it a different way. That's why I have it as my top 3.
It's a very interesting look at the passage of time.
Oh yeah.
I love how new families and people
come in,
moving in into the house, and the pie scene. It's just such a bold thing to do, because to have a long shot like that is just so. I love long shots like that in most instances. It reminds me of a quote from As Good as It Gets. Has anyone seen As Good as It Gets?
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
Where Greg Kinnear is talking to the model, and he's like, have you ever just stared at somebody who didn't know you were watching them? And if you watch somebody long enough, you discover their humanity. It's kind of like that scene, pretty much. But that's such a unique film, and I love that it made the stream, and somebody mentioned it.
Yeah, that's a good pick. Yeah.
But moving on, we're in the top 2.
Two.
Okay. If you have followed my channel for a while or caught enough of my live streams, you're probably waiting for me to pull this. And I think this is the dark horse for me. And this dark horse damn near made it to number 1. And that is The Black Coat's Daughter.
Oh, I love it. Okay.
Sequel coming soon.
Geez, it's the definition of slow burn. It's the definition of atmospheric horror. You need to turn the lights off. You need to pay attention, turn your phone off, and just soak this movie in. This movie is amazingly brutal when it wants to be, which there's only a couple scenes that are like that. But when the movie decides to do that, it's so brutal. Now this movie plays with timeline a little bit, which can throw you off on the first watch, because you're not exactly sure who certain characters are. But once you figure out how they're deciding to tell this story, which I've watched this film a couple of times, you just get more from it. And has anyone not seen this one?
I haven't seen it.
Okay.
I watched it last month for Mika's challenge.
So again, if you like slow burn, this is you. If you like, again, another film with a strong female lead, this has it. A couple of strong female leads. It's brutal in moments. It's quiet in so many moments. And it's another film with a very unique ending. And there's some imagery. You don't see anything crazy like demons or anything like that. This film does deal with why am I blanking on the word?
Supernatural.
Being possessed. It deals with that a little bit. Being
We're
demonic.
not going to see possession, Gus. Don't worry.
But what this film decides to do, and this is not really a spoiler because if you watch the trailer, you'll probably see it. What this film, how they represent the demon is just a fucking boiler in the basement, and it's so well done. And the way the girl actress goes down there and is kind of worshiping this boiler, it's just so strangely haunting. And the way they move, the way her body moves is so like disturbing. And this film does something, and I can't spoil this part, but this film does something that I haven't seen any other possession film do, and I wish I could talk about it, but how this film ends and the main character is just left feeling just empty. God, this is a film that I just love. I don't know why it connects so much for me, but no one cares about this film. I know Caprice.
Yeah, people hate on that film. It's like
I don't know why.
I don't know either. People like can't stand it, or I don't get it.
It surprised me, and I said when I watched it, I said more people need to see this.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a patience issue because you need to just chill out.
You have to focus on it. You can't be doing anything else but watching it. You know.
Do you have a boiler, Ben?
What?
Do you have a boiler?
Not quite the one that is movie.
Is that why it connects with you?
Hey,
Maybe.
see it for Sally Draper if you're a Mad Men fan.
So the boiler.
All right, Gus. Number 2.
Okay, my number 2 used to be my number 1 if this other number 1 wouldn't have been released. But I'm gonna go with Ex Machina.
Oh, okay.
I thought that was going to be your number 1.
Yeah, it's
Not anymore.
Yeah, it would have been my number 1, but you'll see why they got dethroned. But I love this movie. I want to say that Ava is Megan's mom, and any AI movie that came after, she's the original OG.
Good one.
That's good.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we've said everything that needed to be said about this movie. So yeah,
Love it.
Yeah. Okay, Mika, we're going top 2 here. What you got?
Yeah, I'm not going to keep it long because everybody already kind of gave their 2 cents. But of course, I had to put Hereditary. And I was going to be balancing between my number 1 and this one, but I just love this one. It takes a lot because I watch a lot of horror movies. And it takes, I can probably count on probably one hand how many horror movies have really kind of freaked me out or scared me. And this one, like I said, I went to the theater to see it. I remember like the collective gasps or the collective silences while watching this with the audience. It just was so well done. Like I said, Ari Aster, a lot of people, he's hit or miss, but I just think he does beautiful work. I love that he's not afraid to go outside of the box, and really the imagery. And this one is chopped full of like just like crazy scenes, you know what I mean? That you just leave yourself kind of like, what did I watch? You know what I mean? And this is one too that I would always recommend to rewatch. But I think, like I said, just a really well done horror film. And it took a lot to scare me. It takes a lot to scare me. And this is one that I would put up really high in that category. And of course, Toni Collette. I still think this is one of her best performances ever. So,
Yep.
Yeah. So that's my number 2.
Another movie with a great ending as well. Gus, are you more pumped or less pumped to watch this movie now?
I'm actually pumped to watch all the movies that I've never seen that you guys have pulled.
Yeah.
Except, I don't know about the boiler girl one.
Yes, you can do that one. Yeah. No.
You can do it, Gus.
You can do it, Gus. Yeah. And I think Hereditary, I think you could do it, Gus.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm gonna have faith.
I don't know if Gus is gonna make it to
I don't know. That's why I wasn't trying to say too much about the scenes, but give it a try, Gus. So.
Yeah.
I know, right, Caprice? Yeah.
I like Toni Collette, so I've been looking at that movie, but for the reasons that I just explained, I kept holding back. But
yeah, I see some scenes that may lose you, Gus, but I don't know. I think if you stick with it, you could probably.
Okay.
Yeah, you might be lost. I don't know.
I'm not saying nothing. I'm gonna sit here and say nothing.
Yep.
Well, I'll say
So
there's nothing that you're gonna see in Hereditary that is more visceral and brutal than Midsommar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I'll go with
Just
it.
from a horror standpoint,
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I like the air quotes.
All right, KB, number 2.
All right, number 2. We already spoke about it, but
Ooh,
I'm
look
gonna
at that
go.
addition. That's just beautiful.
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Mhm.
I have to say I kind of waited on this because I really didn't want to get into it from a folk horror standpoint. But when I started seeing the other things that Eggers was putting out, I was like, I got to give this a watch. And the first time I watched it, I streamed it, and then I went online and I started hearing how everyone was complaining that this wasn't the way he intended the movie to look. And I was like, all right, I'll get the 4K. And then they said the 4K is not the way he wanted to look.
Mhm.
And then like a month later, Second Sight said they're coming out with this, and he's overseeing it and everything. And I was like, okay, day one, I got to get this released.
Wow.
But yeah, oh my gosh, just from a storytelling, and Mika kind of alluded to it before, but the feeling of the punishment of isolation, I'll say,
Mhm. Mhm.
is like just pervading through the entire film. And it's just funny that the family does to Thomason exactly what was done to them
Mhm. Mhm.
without realizing it. So yeah, there's so many things, and every time you watch it, there's something else, there's something else. And yes, beautiful imagery, as you
Mhm.
mentioned before. And another directorial debut. This is the one that started all for Robert Eggers as far as directing. So I want to see what happens with Nosferatu. That's going to be the next
Yeah.
big one.
Can't wait.
I know.
Watch
Yeah.
along.
So
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
yes, so it should be good. I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, number 2, which or one B.
Yeah,
One B.
speaking of Robert Eggers, I watched The Northman, but I saw it on streaming, and it was fucking terrible. Not the
Terrible
movie,
streaming.
the quality.
Oh, okay. I was
Oh,
like,
I
I
thought
enjoyed
you-
it.
I
Enjoyed
thought-
the
Wow.
Yeah.
I know they said the movie. I said,
No.
huh.
The
No,
way it
the
looked,
black bubbles were, I mean,
Yeah,
terrible,
that's what like.
terrible. But I
there's a
picked it up,
list
I picked
of
it up on
black
4K.
movies.
All of us kind of went,
That looks
wow,
great.
dude.
That looks great.
I got to rewatch it just for that fact because I like the movie, but man, that stream was rough.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Green Knight, Northman, Heat. There's a bunch of movies that just look terrible if you stream it. It looks terrible if you don't have a nice TV. But once you put it on a nice TV and you get it in 4K, the difference is literally night and day.
Yeah.
And that's one of them.
For sure. All right, Tracy, what do you have for us, number 2?
Yes, and really quick, just because you mentioned The Northman, when that film was being promoted, there was a line of posters for the film that I was walking down the street, I saw them, but whoever printed them, like they didn't put the name of the movie on it, and like it was someone made a mistake, and it looked so ridiculous. And I took a picture of it. I'll send it to you guys at some point because someone definitely dropped the ball. And it's like, what movie is this that you're trying to promote? You don't even say what it's called. And it wasn't even trying to be like artsy. It was just like someone totally made a mistake. So it was hilarious. Anyway.
My friend actually created the poster for that movie.
Oh,
So
get
really?
out.
if you send me that photo,
Yes.
I
Oh
will
my
send
God.
it to him. Yes, he actually got a bunch of awards for that. He's a graphic designer, and the company that he works for he actually made that poster.
Yeah.
Oh.
Poster.
Great job.
If he
That's
heard that it
hilarious.
was
too.
around without the proper info on it, he's gonna be pissed.
Wow. Hey, it didn't
Yeah.
stop people in New York from seeing it.
Oh my goodness.
But still,
It was definitely like a different shaped one too, like, but it was definitely, I will get in touch with you, Caprice, because you will laugh so much.
Oh my God.
Don't want to get your friend in trouble though. My second pick, and I don't know if everyone saw it, but I think you all have The Florida Project. Has everyone seen this? Because I don't want to ruin the ending if you guys. Okay, because
Just
to
did
me that ending makes the film
I
because.
already ruined it, I think.
Oh, what did you say?
Oh, well,
I
yeah.
think I already ruined
yeah,
it a little bit.
Yeah. a little
Oh,
bit.
right. Well, yeah. To me, though, like the whole film just works so well because of that end.
Mhm.
It would have been a fine film if they just, you saw her got like being taken away, or there was a nice moment or whatever. But the fact that it's this fantasy of running away to Disney World, which is a place they will never be able to go in the at least in the next couple of years. I mean, who knows, right? But it's like this idea that it's like pretty much really difficult for them to achieve going there in their circumstances. It just destroyed me, and it's so sad. And it's that like innocence that children have and wanting to just live that type of lifestyle while their home life is so incredibly difficult, and the situations they're in are so difficult, and there's very adult things going on in her life. And yeah, I was just I sobbed when as soon as they started running to Disney World and you see the castle, I sobbed. So I think that's what really makes that movie so brilliant. So
yeah, that's a good pick. Yeah,
and what a good performance by Mooney, the little girl.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And the directing of the children too, like the way they were able to get those reactions and stuff from them, incredible.
It reminds me the ending of. Have you ever heard of the movie that they illegally filmed in Disney World called Escape from Tomorrow?
No,
it was supposed to be like a fake horror movie, but the whole thing is just like bootleg, guerrilla filmed. Yeah, there you go.
Wow.
And it's filmed in Disney?
Illegally filmed at Disney World.
Yeah, because you're not allowed to film there.
Yeah, I don't know how Sean Baker even got permission to film at the end, but that moment just reminded me of that, and that's like 10 years old. So
wow, because they didn't try to sue him or anything, right? After that film came out. Okay, good.
Probably gave them more publicity.
Yeah, that's true.
A Fantasyland.
Okay, Caprice, wrapping up our twos.
Okay, my number 2 is Lamb. Hence why I was so excited earlier when Gus said what he said. No, the weird thing is, right when I was gonna start this challenge, my cousin had seen that I had done like 3 or 4 of the days already, and the first thing he said to me was, "Wait till you see Lamb." And I was like, "What is it, like that bad? Like did it?" So I agree with Gus. Yes, people were like, "Oh my God, you either love it or you hate it." I actually loved it a lot. I fell in love with Ada. Before I saw Marcel, I thought she was probably the cutest thing I'd ever seen. There's no dialogue for her. She's silent, so she's very reminiscent of a small child. What really got me was the performance by, I hope I'm saying it right. I really hate when I butcher people's names. Nudie Rapace? Nudie Rapace?
Yep.
My God.
A great actress.
I don't have children, but I have 2 amazing nieces that I don't know what I would do without. And the fact that this mother is grieving, the loss of her child, and she sees this other child and tries to replace it with this child, and it's just her emotion throughout the entire movie is just one loss after the other, and by the end you just feel so bad for this woman. And it's a very strong message about how us as humans kind of do whatever the hell we want and take things that don't belong to us and try to say that it's ours when it's not. And the ending as strange as it was just gut-wrenching for me. Like just seeing what this woman was having to have to go through all over again. I was just really blown away by it. And like you guys said earlier, just the cinematography of this movie alone, stunning. It's stunning, but it's overlooked because people think it's ridiculous, just like Swiss Army Men. So for anybody who's sitting there saying, "Oh, I don't want to see that. That's stupid," just give it a try.
Mhm.
Watch it. You're gonna feel differently.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I feel different, and I'm telling you right now, it's a very, very strong movie. It really is. It's filmmaking at part of its best. I know the subject matter is probably not for everyone, but there's real feeling behind it, and everyone's gonna realize that if they give it its due diligence. So yes, Lamb is my number 2.
Has everybody seen Lamb?
No,
No, no.
Mhm.
I saw the trailer.
You said it's on Showtime, right? I'll check it out.
I don't know if I said that. Did I?
Yeah. I think it is. It's streaming, I believe. I don't know what platform.
It's either Showtime or it's on HBO Max right now. One of the two. It might still be there. I'm not 100% sure if it still is though.
Yeah, I think it might be HBO.
But yeah, like I was saying earlier, KB, just buy it because that's a beautiful disc. And with your TV, just buy it.
It's on
Yeah.
Paramount Plus if you want to stream it, but
There you go. Paramount Plus.
Okay. I knew it was
So
one of them.
we have reached the top of our mountains here.
Mhm.
Number ones.
This is
I'll
gonna
kick it off obviously here. Pull this banner out of the way. My number one has been pulled a couple of times. I recently rewatched this, and it's my number one at least right now, and it's The Witch.
Ooh.
I don't have your guys' fancy edition. So.
it says the witch. It doesn't say the witch.
The Vit.
The
But
witch.
this has Dolby Vision on it, so I'm wondering how much of a change Eggers really made by overseeing the second sight release, or if it was just a cash grab, or what.
Color timing.
The color timing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I definitely want that release. I went on eBay and checked it out, but I don't know if I'm really willing to dish out that money for it.
It's
But,
crazy how much they're trying to sell it for.
Yeah.
This is my number one
ridiculous.
because I think, as far as folk horror or just horror in general, I don't hesitate in saying that this is a perfect horror film. I wouldn't change a goddamn thing about this movie. I love the period piece aspect of the 1600s. Again, you have themes of religion. Again, you have a strong female lead in Thomason. I love the folktale aspect, and there's elements that you can dig into and look into the folktale aspect of the mythology of what's going on in this movie. I love the aspect of kind of man versus nature, how they're on the cusp of the woods, and it's kind of like they're trying to survive against the elements in that way. I love the aspect of the question of, is man born with inherent sin already in them, and the children constantly worrying about being sinners. There's just a lot going on, and I love, and again, I said earlier, I love surrealism, but not too much surrealism. This does just enough. And again, beating a dead horse here, but I love a strong ending, and this one has an amazing ending. I just love it. I think it's perfect. So if I can say this is a perfect film, how could I not put it number one? I love it, and goats are fucking creepy.
Well, just to let you guys know, I just purchased the Second Sight Witch while you guys were talking. I was shopping.
From where? Where'd you get it?
Second Sight.
Okay. There you go.
Then, if you're looking for it, if you just want the movie, $38. So
yeah, they have that. You guys both have the whole hard box.
Yeah, that's the hard box one
the
is the one that's
limited
out of
edition.
print.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's out of print. Yeah.
All right, number one, Gus. Now I'm interested because I thought it was going to be Machina.
I
Me
think
too,
I know
but-
what it is.
Oh, okay.
I know what it is.
What
Go
is
ahead.
it? What is
No,
it?
go ahead.
We're like,
I think I know too, but let me see.
Okay, so I watched this movie with all the hype, and I was like, this movie can't be that good. I mean, and I watched it, and oh my goodness, I enjoyed every second of it. Some people were mad that some people won versus others, but I can see why this person won. It could have been politics, but at the end of it all, I can see myself watching it again to get more out of it. I watched it all without looking to my at my phone, like Vin just said throughout the stream. So my number one is Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
Nice. That Walmart exclusive.
Yes.
Who else pulled that tonight?
I did. It was I think it was my number 6.
Yep.
Very nice choice.
For sure.
Tracy.
All right, that brings us to Mika.
Okay. And I'm following my man Gus. This is my number one too. Yeah.
Wow.
Yes. Yes. Like that it hasn't switched. That was my favorite film of 2022. Just loved it. So great to see my girl Michelle Yeoh get her flowers because she's been in this game for a long time and people are starting to wake up to she's always been that girl, but she's being
Been
validated.
good.
Yeah. And I just love seeing her, someone who's an older woman in the lead role, you know what I mean? Very multifaceted. It's touching a whole lot of it's looking at generational trauma, it's looking at immigration, it's looking at family dynamics. I just really love it. And I just think even the multiverse, I love how they tackled the multiverse. It was a different spin to it. And I think the overall question I loved is like, what if you made different choices, how your life could be. Just a great film. And that was my introduction into the Daniels. I'm going to have to see that Swiss Army Man, but I'm just a big fan after this film. So yeah, it's just my favorite and it hasn't changed. I just love it.
Nice. Getting some everything everywhere love at the end here. All right, KB, number one.
All right. I was guessing what Gus's favorite is because
We all have the same edition.
just to add to it, and we all have the googly eyes. So just to add to what everyone else had said so far, just going back to Swiss Army Man, I think the one thing that the Daniels do so well is capture the absurd. And it doesn't matter what genre, subgenre the film is put in. Like some people might see this as a dramedy with some martial arts in there and, like everything you just mentioned, family dynamics and what my friend says it's a LGBTQ plus. And there's so many different ways you could categorize this movie, but I think in this age of adaptation, sequels, books, bring in toys and commercials and whatever, TV shows, and trying to make a buck over it. Here's a story where they just threw things at the wall and saw what stuck and made a movie. And if you want to complain about there's no originality in movies anymore, you haven't seen this movie yet, because I think this is what captured originality in 2022. Yes, and they did the multiverse better than Marvel did in MCU. So what more do you want than that in what I deem a perfect film? I was emotional. I don't get emotional in movie theaters. I was emotional sitting there thinking about every relationship I have with every family member, with my kids, everything. So yeah, it's my favorite.
Nice. Getting a lot of love. A lot of love.
I'm loving it.
Yeah.
All right, Tracy, you're going to follow suit? Oh, you already pulled it.
I already pulled that one, yes, but I do love that movie so much. I pulled, I think it might be, I'm going to assume this was my first experience with an A24 film, but I'm not positive, but it's pretty like a long time since this movie's come out. And actually I pulled out the actual thing for this. So
Ooh,
I talked to KB when I was on his conversation, and I think this was one of the films that you choose ones that you love. Like this genre, this type of writing, this sci-fi, like brainy stuff. I love that so much. And I thought Oscar Isaac was such an incredible villain. I love like the mad scientist type of villains. So, like AI stuff is now, more prevalent than ever. And I can't believe, I know KB brought this up. So many other people brought this up. The CGI in this makes like any film or TV series that has bad CGI now with huge budgets, there's no excuse. Because I can't even imagine what the budget was for this, because it is smaller. The way her robot design is incredible. I can't get over it still. So I love it, and I love the structure of the whole script, and I love it. So
great pick. Tracy, may I say your cat is giving me life in the background?
I was going to say, your cat is super distracting right now.
Oh my God, so cute.
It's taken over from Gus's fan.
It purposely knows. Oh, it hurt you. It's like,
Now left.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, the burger line.
Try, but it's something whatever. It's summer and it's hot and humid here. So.
Yes,
I
yes.
hear you. I hear you.
All right, the final number one poll of the night, Caprice.
Okay. So my number one poll, the movie that has stuck with me the most, that's gonna stick with me for a very, very long time. I had so many emotions go through myself when I watched this movie. I'm tearing up right now.
Oh yeah,
The Florida Project.
mm-hmm.
I've had to work with children in these situations. So this movie was very personal. To watch this movie is to watch the world through the eyes of children.
Mm-hmm.
The aspect ratio of this movie, everything is filmed from below. You're literally seeing everything at the level of a small child. This movie for me is basically showing you children's ability to see the good in everything, regardless of the situation. They're always, children are the most innocent thing that you can come in contact with. And like Tracy said earlier, some of the subject matter in this movie is very adult. And to have these children literally live in a motel blocks away from the happiest place on earth and just be in the situation that they're in. Just the way that Sean Baker depicted that, just, I mean, I if I'm not mistaken, the hotel that they're living in is called the Something Castle.
Yeah.
And they treat it as such. The little girl even calls it the castle. It's not home, it's castle.
Mm-hmm.
Just the pastel coloring and the aspect ratio of where you're seeing it from. The three kids, William Dafoe hasn't been mentioned yet, and oh my God, you know, the man has done so many. He's done so many roles, and I feel like this one, I feel like this wasn't even him acting. I feel like this was literally William Dafoe just in front of a camera. Just the way he looks after these children like he was their own, because he knows the situations that they're in. It's bawled my eyes out a few times watching this movie. And just the way it ended.
Yeah.
I know that some of you guys haven't seen it, right? If I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah.
I think me and Tracy can, you know, talk about when the little girl goes to the door and starts crying to her friend. Tracy, annihilated. Annihilated. I was not okay for a few days after watching this movie. And like I said, it's gonna stick with me for a long fucking time. I even bought the script for it. I loved it that much. I have the script coming. The movie's on the way in the box with the rest of them. There aren't enough words that I can even say about this movie. It's everything, really. And it's because of the small kids in the movie. That's not even the adult performances, as amazing as they were. The children blow you away, and they completely win you over, and your heart bleeds for these kids. And like Vin said when he was talking about it earlier, just that end scene, you just want that for them so bad.
Yeah.
Just want it for them so bad. And after the movie, I actually went to my mother's house and gave her the biggest hug I think I've given her in years. For years, because I was just like, thank you for busting your ass for just giving me and my siblings the best life that you could have.
Yeah.
And it's just, I can't. So the Florida Project is my poll.
Yeah. It's called the Magic Castle.
Magic.
So close to the Magic Kingdom.
Wow.
And it closed. I saw this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's it closed last month.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they have actually too, and a lot of the workers at Disney actually live in, which is crazy too. You know, live in hotels too. Wow.
Yeah.
And what's interesting about the movie too is obviously these kids aren't living under the best circumstances, and obviously Mooney's mom, the main mother-daughter relationship, there's a lot of problems going on there, but the film also sprinkles in all of these moments showing her mother being so caring and so much fun. Like there's a scene where they're just outside in the pouring rain dancing and wrestling and tickling each other, and it's like what kind of what well-to-do hoity-toity mom would do that with their kid? Not many. And there's a few scenes like that where it shows her actually being like creating these really strong memories with her kid that like the kid doesn't fully understand what's going on. She doesn't know what the mother is doing to make money. She doesn't know she doesn't know that she's living in a borderline poverty situation. All she knows is she has friends and she has this mother who she has a lot of fun with here and there. So it's playing with that aspect of what a kid sees, what a kid sees versus what reality is. And it's interesting, like if Mooney was a real person, which a lot of kids really do live like that, what they grow up, what their memory is of times like that.
Yeah.
But
And they
did,
they did film illegally at Disney World.
Wow.
These guys are showing no respect for the mouse.
And you know how there's so many helicopters throughout the film? That was not on purpose. They asked, there's like I guess next to that motel, there's a helicopter like for tourists, like you can take a tour.
Helicopter
And
tour, right?
yeah. And they asked if they could like stop for like a couple hours, like, no, this is our business, so you're gonna have to deal with it. And it wound up actually being like a really great like motif and just like background, because all of a sudden you'll see like a helicopter take off, or you'll hear the helicopters going off constantly throughout the film, and it actually kind of worked really well.
Yeah.
Yep. Permanently closed. They kicked out the tenant June of 2022.
The categories.
I know.
All right, so I think we're going to kind of wind down here. If anyone has any films that were not mentioned on the stream, I personally have 3. I'm not going to go very long-winded here, but I just want to show them a little bit of love. The first one I wanted to show that nobody pulled was The Killing of a Sacred Deer. I really enjoyed
you watch that.
Yep, I love, again, that same actor. Again, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, Barry Cogan or Keegan or whatever it is. But this is a very, very interesting storyline, a very, very interesting plot. It's the same director as the guy who did The Lobster, if you've seen that. So he has very obscure storylines. But yeah, if you haven't seen this one, it's one that I remember really liking, and it stuck with me. The second one I wanted to give a little bit of love to is Come On, Come On.
He stole that from me. He copycat me. Just so you guys know.
You gotta point the other way, Gus. You're pointing at Mika.
I know. Let's keep pointing at me.
But
oh,
there you go.
I forgot who pulled a movie, and they said that this movie. I think it was KB. You said that the movie made you I think it was Everywhere All at Once. It made you reevaluate all your relationships in your life. Watching this one made me really. It's about Joaquin and his nephew, and being the father of 2 young sons. It really just made me think about a lot of that, and it made me just want to connect with my kids like so much more, than I already might. So this one I like, and I'm a big Joaquin fan, and I love the black and white here. So this is a really interesting, fun watch. And the last one I want to show a little bit of love to quickly is The Inspection. This one came out last year. And I know we had mentioned Moonlight earlier. Yep.
Didn't that one is fairly new too, right?
Last year. We mentioned it when we were talking about Moonfall, about the lead character being a gay African-American man. And I feel like this one is damn close to being up there. What this guy goes through, joining the Marines, and the relationship that he has with his mother is so well done. And even toward the end of the film, when you think that there might be some possibility of change, and that may or may not end up happening, but I think this is one that a lot of people missed out on. And I think that the actor who plays him, is it Jeremy Pope, did such a great job, and it's actually inspired by the true events of the director, which I thought was really interesting. So this is another one I'd like to recommend.
Oh yeah, I just looked that up because I remember that's the Gabrielle Union performance they was talking about. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
she's in there. Oh, okay.
I think she's the mother, right?
Hmm.
I want to
But
see
yeah,
that
yeah,
one.
I want to see it too.
it's a good one. But does anybody else want to just have anything that hasn't been mentioned that they want to talk about quick?
Yes. So first one is Minari. I really enjoy
Oh.
Minari. I just felt
Yeah.
like the top 10 were stronger films than this, but this one is really good since we talked about immigration and all that. The American dream, I guess you could say. This portrays it very well. I actually enjoyed Men. Many people were dissing this movie because of the end, but I did Google the end, and understandably why what happened at the end makes sense, because she got to the point where she was stronger than the man.
All the iterations.
Exactly. After Yang, I really enjoyed this one. I feel like this one. I enjoyed the AI, how he was helping a little girl accustomed to, I guess, life, and her being part of a multiracial family, because obviously she's not their biological daughter. But I enjoyed this one, and then obviously, come on, before Vin.
There you go.
But yeah, this is good.
Anybody else? Mika, you have anything?
Yeah. Gus talked about Minari. I was going to mention that one. That's really good. And of course I have to put because X. Yeah. I love Ty West. He's one of my favorite directors, and I'm loving what he's doing with these trilogies. Looking forward to Maxine. But this was also one of my favorites of 2022. I really enjoyed it. I liked kind of the film. I think the film tackling the themes of ageism, how we kind of how we look towards older individuals and how we covet, youth and beauty and all those kind of standards. But I thought it was really, really well done. I love Ty West. I love what he does in his films. So yeah, I just wanted to show X a little bit of love.
Yeah. I was about to do the same thing and show X and Pearl together, because I finished Pearl and it made me want to go right back to X. I've said that before. And I'm going to steal Caprice's answer before anybody else does, because it's still on my mind and I need to go see it again before it leaves theaters, but I was afraid. I can't get enough of that movie. I have to find 3 hours plus, invest again.
Oh, I know. And they was only showing it twice. And the times was so weird up here. It was like 1:20 or like 7:20. So
yeah, I had 2:10 or 6 p.m. And then by the time I got out with trailers and all that, it was like 9:30.
Oh yeah, I came home so late because Kira was like, "Where the hell were you?" I was in the movie theater.
Yeah, there were so many trailers for my showing of that, and I'm sure it's the same for everybody. But I think I went to like a 3 p.m. showing, and it didn't start till like at least 3:30.
Yeah,
I think that's for every movie. Oh my god, I feel like it's an hour of trailers isn't really needed.
Yeah, I didn't even know the movie was 3 hours. I was like, wow.
I didn't either.
I did it. I was like, okay. And then I said, damn, how long is this movie?
I didn't either until the ticket person was like, "You're gonna be good for 3 hours, right?" I went, "What?"
Yeah.
It was too late then, so I was like, "Yeah,
I know."
I guess
When I was in the theater, I was only one in the theater too.
Oh, really?
Same. I just sat in the corner like this.
I know, I was the only one in it.
Yeah. I was like, I should say what?
Anything you wanted to pull, Tracy, or talk about?
Yeah. So like I had 6 honorable mentions. Only 2 of them have not been brought up. One was Bo Burnham's 8th Grade. And it was just like one of the most accurate portrayals of what it's like to be in 8th grade for a female. I never want to go back to 8th grade ever again. It was the most traumatizing time ever. It's always that awkward stage for girls, and it's bad. Now we're seeing generations where it's all social media, and she even has like a YouTube channel, and she has no views on any of her things, and it's like, that the dynamic with her and her dad, who's trying to be like a cool dad and really nice and supportive, and she's just like doesn't want to talk to him. And like, yeah, even going to like the pool party with the popular girl is so awkward, and it's so realistic. So I thought for a directorial debut, that was a great job. And then the other one is The Farewell, and with Aquafina. Yeah. I thought she did a fantastic job, and it's nice to see her in a serious role because she definitely has the acting chops for that. Love that. Yes. And
Vin has all of them. I'm
I
telling
know
you.
he does the product placement. Yeah.
I bet. Yeah, and just the whole concept of like knowing a family member is going to die because of cancer, but you don't want to tell them because you believe psychologically that will make them die quicker, or like they won't have, their life won't be as, fulfilled, I guess, in a way. Like that's like what their family believes. It's a very interesting concept. And it's crazy to kind of see the whole family kind of tiptoe around the subject. Even though they think that's what they're doing is for the best. So
that's a good bit. Yeah,
that's a good one. Yeah.
For me, I actually have two. I had four, but they were already mentioned. So one of them was Saint Maud. That was brought up during the stream. The other one was The Blackcoat's Daughter, which been brought up. So the other two that I have are actually The Whale. It lives up to the hype. It really does. Beautiful movie. Phenomenal is not even the word to describe Brendan Fraser's performance in that movie. The entire cast does an amazing job. You're gonna feel something coming out of that movie. You don't know what it is. Everybody is a little bit different who I've talked to so far. An amazing movie. So if you haven't seen The Whale yet, definitely go see it. Like I said, it lives up to all the hype that's around it 100%. The other one was just an honorable mention because I love the movie, but not enough for it to be on my top 10, and that would be Climax. Climax is a very, very good movie, very visually stimulating, but there's a lot going on. It's I don't want to give too much away about it because it's kind of hard to talk about Climax without giving it away.
Gaspar Noé.
So there is basically you're gonna watch a movie about dancers, and I'm gonna let it go from there. The less you know about this movie going in, the better. But again, Climax is very visually stimulating, and it's gonna be a hit or miss for some people, but I definitely had a good time with it. I did do my little spoiler-free review for it for my challenge, and I believe I gave it 4 out of 5 bats for that. So very, very good movie in my opinion. Everybody else's opinion might differ. It can start out as a little bit of a slow burn, but I think ultimately people would have a good time with it. So yeah, my other recommendation would be Climax.
Has anyone seen Climax?
No, I just added it. I know what you're referring, but I haven't seen it.
From the man who brought you Irreversible.
Yeah.
Have you seen it, KB?
No, but I was trying to figure out what movie Caprice was referring to, and then when I saw the name, I was like, it's a Gaspar movie. That's all you need to know.
Yeah,
I watched it in prep for this, and it's very well done. Everything about it. I have a Letterboxd review if you want to check out my Letterboxd review of it. Everything about it is so expertly done, but the subject matter for me is just not what I really cared too much about. But it does such a good job of pulling you into this kind of walking nightmare and building and building and building, and it uses color, it uses the way certain films are shot. It really builds dread so effectively, and I mean, I like everything about it. It's just there's certain parts of it that I don't know, it doesn't do it for me. But it's a great movie though. I mean, I want to get it in my collection.
Definitely got to check it out.
Great one.
All right, but we are about 2 hours and 45. But listen, we're talking A24, and A24, they're not like films you can just gloss over. They're heavier films. There's a lot to dissect. So I think with a 6-person panel doing a top 10, we did a pretty good job here of moving it along. But I know there were a few other big streams tonight, and if you were here hanging out with us, hopefully you got some good recommendations. If you're going to check this out on replay, which I hope some people do, because I think everyone on the panel, myself included, we're big advocates for this company, A24. I hope that we have given you some stuff to put on your watch list. But we're going to wrap it up and call it a night. But I want to thank you guys all for joining me on the stream, and all the maybe extra homework you might have put in, extra movies you might have bought. It means a lot. And this was one of my favorite streams I've ever done, just listening to you guys talk about the movies and getting a chance to talk about some of mine. But yeah, we will all catch you guys later. If you are not subscribed to any of our channels or following Gus on Instagram, please do so. And I think we are going to sign off. So yes, thank you again. And we are out in 3, 2, 1.
Go watch a movie.